Jeez, Todd, that intro scared me.
Hello.
That was really intense.
That's
Is
intense.
that you
There's like-
screaming?
Those strings are really building up at the end, and you expect like something's going to explode, and it's just three fat schlubs. But hi, thank you. Happy Friday, everybody, for joining us. Really appreciate it. So this is our inaugural deep dive into Rue Morgue. Some of you might have been familiar with the experiments we were running, kind of talking about Fango back in the day, and those were so much fun. We wanted it to not end there, and we wanted to keep going down the channels of history, this time with Canada's finest Rue Morgue. Todd, do you want to talk a little bit about what the plan is with the Rue Morgues? But by the way, I think the official name is Friday Night at the Morgues.
Friday Night at the Morgue is what we're calling it. We're not going through issue by issue because not all of them are archived. We're going to kind of play it by year on which ones we're going to do. It's not going to be consistent week to week of which ones we do. We might do some newer stuff, but I figured this issue of The Thing, I mean, the artwork alone's awesome. The Thing, I mean, you can never talk enough about The Thing. Yeah.
Who doesn't love The Thing? Come on.
Alpha's got his Thing shirt on. It's just
I got my thing out tonight.
He's got his thing out. Hopefully Aaron will get his thing out here in a little bit. But
I'm not wearing anything from the waist down.
Oh, okay.
Why would you assume?
Yeah. So this issue was actually originally came out in 2007. This is the October issue. So the Halloween season, they do double issues. So we're starting out with the double issue for the October issue of 2007. And I thought it'd be fun to go back to 2007 because there's a lot of stuff that will bring us back to the year 2007 once we see what's in here with a lot of like the articles, the stuff that's coming out with like physical media, culture, everything. So this is a really good issue to start with. Let me just say that.
And the whole motive behind this is like I said, going through the channels of history. I think it's important. It's one thing that publications like this exist in preservation, but it's another thing too to talk about it. You know, I think we're entering new uncharted waters in film, in a new era with AI and the way films are going to be made. And I don't want people to forget some of these classics. You never know. Believe it or not, I think there will be a day. I don't know if it's our kids or our grandkids or our great grandkids. People won't even know who the Beatles are anymore.
Yeah,
I think that's going to happen in just a few generations.
That's crazy.
And you know what I mean? Like, so nothing is safe, and we got to keep it on the cusp. So we can't forget about this stuff. And it's been a real trip. So basically the way we're going to do it is Todd says, we're going to go page by page. Mm-hmm. We're going to go page by page from the ads, from the columns, from the write-ins. And like I said, we kind of did a test drive of this some months back with Fango, and it was a trip. And it really spurs on a lot of great conversation. And obviously Fango's a little bit earlier, so we were kind of delving into the 70s. It's going to be super exciting to delve in sort of this era, which is actually more of our generation, like when we were coming up in high school and things like that. So it really takes you down memory lane. And like I said, we stumble across things you don't even know. You'll probably see write-ins of people that are unfamiliar with people that are now quite famous or quite regarded. You might see reviews of things of the time that are shockingly not great, but today they're heralded as classics. Speaking of The Thing, so it's going to be a fun time. So Todd's going to drive, and just as a reminder, all these issues, at least right now, that we're covering are all ones that you could purchase. You guys can go to the actual Rue Morgue digital archives, and you can get access to those and order back issues too. Most of them, right? There's
everything's in the description for this issue for digital and physical. So we got you covered.
And shout out to Rue Morgue. We got their blessing to do this.
Yes.
You know, kind of bumped heads with them
and
worked with them. Yeah, man, it's really, really cool. So we're glad that some of you guys are here. Maybe some of you guys are new from Rue Morgue. Like we got Cross-Eyed Luigi here. Nice. I ain't never seen you before, man. So it's welcome aboard. Maybe you're a Rue guy or gal, young writer. Glad you're here. Let's do a quick hello to a couple of folks and we'll get rolling. Maybe Todd's probably already got it ready to go. We got to say hi to the Dark Lord himself. Satan is in the room. I don't have your soundbite ready to go. I apologize.
Here, let me do it.
Okay, go ahead and do it. That was it? Oh. Okay.
You
That
talk
was
over it. Come on.
Why was it so quiet?
Because I needed to turn it up. I'm sorry.
You turned it down. So I entered with a gong, and I barely heard the gong. I'm like, what the hell?
I have so many names. Call me Dad.
Call me Dad.
All right. Anyway, so thank you, Satan, for joining us. Okay, enough.
That was Alpha. That wasn't me.
Oh, was it? Pacino does not.
Spot on impression. Come on.
Yeah.
Silhouette, thank you so much for joining. As always, we appreciate you,
Silhouette.
of course. Gamer Guy. I was talking to Gamer Guy earlier in our Discord, which you guys can join as well. We were paying tribute to Chuck Norris, so rest in peace, Chuck.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Man.
I doubt Chuck's covered in this issue, but so let's get it out of the way
he should
now.
be. Chuck
What a
Norris should be
legend.
covered in every issue of every magazine.
Absolutely.
King Matthew, thank you so much for joining. You've never seen The Thing?
Wow. Okay.
Wow, that's wild. You know, I actually kind of envy you.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest horror films of all time. So you do need to check it out. So after we're done talking here, we're not going to spoil it too much for you, but go watch it.
And it's one of those movies that holds up like completely, because it's not like, it was made in early 80s, but there's nothing tying it to that time period. Like, there's no clothing choices. There's nothing. So you can watch The Thing now. It could be something that was made last year, you know.
If you threw me into like that kind of weather, you'd be wearing a parka today. You dress the same. Yeah, and actually it's more than timeless. It looks better physically, aesthetically. Obviously it's renowned for its special effects. It looks better than movies today. You know, you guys probably know that story about the prequel that ended up coming out, had Joel Edgerton and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I actually don't think it's that bad of a film. But the whole controversy of it looks like a PS2 video game because they went all CGI with the graphics and stuff and the effects, but they were actually legit practical. And then some studio said, kids like the computer stuff. And they literally went over it.
Ugh.
They literally went over it with the shitty PS2 graphics. And
that's brutal, man.
It just shows that, the people paying the bills don't really know what's up.
Some of those people probably like that now. Who knows, right?
Maybe we'll see. But
it's one of those movies that are considered classics now. The Thing prequel.
Hey, after 20 years, man, there is a certain nostalgia for everything. I mean, Limp Bizkit came back. We're not getting started on that. John Wakefield, what's up?
We're starting tonight. We're not talking about Limp Bizkit. What are we doing?
Hey, we will get to some music in this issue because they do cover music as well, metal. So
it's horror within entertainment and culture. Yeah, so it kind of runs the gamut on everything. But let's go ahead and pull the pages up. We're gonna get started without further ado.
Yeah. Let me find this and let me go to our. There we go.
Awesome cover.
Yes.
So, just breaking down here, we got Unearthing the Thing. I'm assuming this is going to be at the time new bites and interviews and quotes from these people.
Yes.
You know, we got John Carpenter, we got Rob Bottin, we got Kurt Russell, we got Keith David. Thing Fest. I don't even remember that. What the hell was Thing Fest?
I don't remember that either.
That must have been a relic. We're gonna go through the pages. We're gonna find out if we missed out with Thing Fest and more is what it says. 10 years of Rue Morgue. Like I said, it's an anniversary episode issue. So it's probably gonna be a lot of
Rue Morgue had been around for 10 years at this point. I didn't know that. I didn't know they'd started in 97.
Yeah, 97.
I discovered Rue Morgue in like I'd say like mid 2000s probably, but I was more in tune with Rue Morgue Radio at the time. I used to listen to that constantly. Like that was like my thing. So,
and that was like one of the most popular podcasts back in the day too. Yeah. It was, Rue Morgue Radio. And then, they start, I don't remember reading Rue Morgue when it early came out in the late 90s, but, I remember the early 2000s. They started popping off and started becoming getting a following.
We used to skip class in high school, and we would just hang out in the art room. And what they had what they called a dark room, which was used to be a dark room for you to develop film or whatever. But they did just transfer it into like a junk room. So we would just hang out in there, bring a TV, and hook up our PS2 and. You turn on Rue Morgue Radio on the fucking laptop and play, fucking Soul Calibur and shit, and just listen to fucking Rue Morgue.
That's fucking awesome, man. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason I never graduated.
Okay.
Hey, and speaking of podcast, 2007, we're talking infancy of podcasting. So
Yeah.
are we going to see any shout outs to any like early podcasts in here? Let's see. Because I feel like, yeah, 2000, God, were they out then?
Yeah, podcasting just started coming out, really.
Out in 2007. I was about to say it's got to be on the cusp.
Oh, we got the history of black metal too. So Aaron, you can talk about some black metal.
We need
Oh
our
boy.
resident black metal guy Pat on here for that
I know.
episode.
I know, right?
Yeah, his
This
garbage
is
can
black
music.
metal.
Racing Genius, thank you for joining us as always. Good evening and congrats on this stuff. Yeah, man, this is gonna be fun. I'm so excited, and I'm so excited that Rue Morgue was excited to let the fans talk about this stuff. You know, I think more people should do this. You know, you hear about, you know, obviously like the gaming space is huge, and you hear about like certain companies going after people for showing their game on stream. I'm like, guys, you're just selling more games.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense. Like, you're not losing out by watching somebody have fun with your products. It's not the same 1-to-1. So, and same thing with this, man. I like physical. So obviously go to the archives. That's great. Digital's great. But I would look at something like this, and I would love the conversation and commentary that's going to go with it. I would watch this, or I would watch guys do a deep dive for some of my old favorite issues that I own of certain magazines. It adds a new element and new layer, and it attaches certain people's history and personal stories, like us in this case, to it. And like I said, it just adds a new color to the palette. And if you don't already have this magazine, I would be buying it and be like, oh, I want to hold this. I want to feel this. I want to flip through it. I want to sit on the toilet. I want to keep it on the tank like the good old days underneath an issue of Maxim.
Oh yeah, Maxim.
Absolutely.
Oh well, when I grew up, my dad, it was all like car magazines. So I just remember seeing like, you know, fucking car magazines
just chicks in those.
Just stacked next to the fucking shitter.
I always read the muscle magazines, like the muscle.
You would. Wait, you had the muscle guy magazines on your John, dude?
Oh, the muscle women magazines, man.
Playgirl, man. What's up?
That's not that much better, dude. Okay. All right.
They were the most risque magazines you can get without being 18. Let's just say that.
All right. So what do we got here? So loved Rue Morgue radio. Sorry, where are we at? Young writer. Yeah, I never actually listened to Rue Morgue radio. That one kind of went past me.
Okay.
I don't think
It was great,
to
man. They would have like interviews with. I remember there's a great interview that Stuart Andrews did with George Romero. That was I go back and listen to every now and then. Now, like I'll just because I have it on MP3 on my computer, and sometimes I'll just throw it up to. They would interview everybody back in there because that was back when everybody was still alive and still available. You know, it was just like
Sure.
So they had great interviews, great music. Like I discovered all kinds of new music from fucking Rue Morgue. They had, of course, the Creep Show, the band The Creep Show with the Rue Morgue radio theme song, and yeah, I don't know. I have very, very, you know, big time nostalgia for Rue Morgue radio from back in the day.
So I'm guessing it was like podcast before it was internet radio, which is like podcast before podcasts.
Oh yeah, pretty much. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Except I guess they had the license, or I don't know if anybody really even knew that it existed, but the license to play like songs, like play music, like they play like Alice Cooper and you know all kinds of like horror themed fucking bands. So it was cool.
Yeah, racing. Stephen Colbert. I didn't know. There's that new Thing documentary that's coming out.
Yes.
I think they're still trying to like kickstart probably post-production costs. I mean, you know, it's already made and stuff, but Stephen Colbert, I guess, is in it, is what he's saying. All I know, the connection there is Carpenter did Colbert's show like a year or so ago, and he was saying how much he loved the Thing, and he genuinely did seem like a big fan. Not that I'm a Colbert guy, but I'm guessing that's the connection.
That's cool.
But you know what? John Carpenter, it brings the people together of all ilks, and doesn't matter what your beliefs are, or it's all. That's what's great about this community. It doesn't matter who you are. That's what's great about the music community. You know, talking about Alice Cooper and hard rock and metal, and going hand in hand. That's what's great about the horror community. It doesn't matter who you are. Go to a concert, go to a festival, or go to a convention that, you know, someone like Rue Morgue would cover, and you're going to see all walks of life.
Yeah, you got that one thing that bonds everybody, though, is horror.
and
Which is
it
awesome.
doesn't matter. You know that feeling when you go to like a concert and you're all there, you're all there for the same thing. So you instantly have something in common with everybody. And you could be the biggest introvert in the world, but when you're sitting in line to gain entry to a concert or a convention, you're all talking to each other because you're pumped about what you're about to experience together. So once again, history. Some days theaters are going to be dead. Someday a lot of this stuff's going to be dead. Hopefully not. So that's the thing that we're going to miss in this new era that we're probably upon is the community aspect of stuff. Let's see. Kevin Hoover, thanks for joining us, brother. How you doing,
Kevin.
man?
Kevin from Rue Morgue.
Oh yeah. How you doing, man? Thank you so much for getting us settled on this, man.
And we'd like to get you on the show here eventually, Kevin, once you're not so busy. I know you're a busy dude, so I appreciate it though.
All right, John, one of the greatest film scores ever made. A lot of people think it was Carpenter, but it was actually Ennio Morricone. I don't think people think it's Carpenter. It doesn't sound anything like. Sounds like Ennio Morricone. Carpenter. If it was John Carpenter,
I disagree. To me, it always sounded like Ennio Morricone was doing a rendition of a John Carpenter score, almost like the boom, 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 boom.
If it was a John Carpenter score, it would be going. Beep, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Because when I first watched the thing, because it's John Carpenter, so you assume that John Carpenter did the music too.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you see the thing, Ennio Morricone, I know Ennio from like Sergio Leone and the spaghetti westerns and Argento and stuff, and it's always more orchestral and full. And then this one was very, I don't know, it just sounded very Carpenter-esque to me. And yeah, I don't know. I've always just assumed that Carpenter just hired Ennio, and Ennio was just like, oh, well, John Carpenter likes his music to sound like this, so we'll just do this. And I don't know.
I mean, for this being one of Carpenter's most famous and iconic in films that you associate with him, it's one of his more collaborative projects. It's not like a through and through Carpenter film, like, Halloween or Escape from New York, where he's like wearing 5 different hats. But yet it doesn't feel like necessarily a director for hire job like we got with Memoirs of an Invisible Man and Elvis and all that crap and stuff like that. And but it's special. I think that's what makes the film so great, is because he did sort of have this like amazing crew assembled. But it's special. It does stand out. It feels like a Carpenter movie through and through, but it also in a way kind of doesn't feel like all the earlier ones. But
real quick, going to the poll question that I had posted, favorite Carpenter film that's not Halloween. We got The Thing, The Fog, Escape from New York, and They Live. Of course, The Thing is running away with it with 61%. And then coming in second is Escape from New York. And then the other two are tied. Yeah.
What's the other two?
They Live and The Fog. Which I loved. I mean, as much as I love this, between this and The Fog, it's like, I don't know. It depends on what day it is, because I love The Fog so much too.
So you can't make me pick. I think The Thing is probably, you can't really fight it. It's probably like the best. But I've always been a sucker for Escape. I think he had a flawless catalog all the way up until In the Mouth of Madness, in my opinion. Maybe not for everybody. Even stuff like Prince of Darkness, man. I just thought just a great filmography. But you know what? I mean, from a technical aspect, this is the most impressive film. So we'll give it the edge. And a great great ensemble cast. Let's see. Rob, one of the greatest SFX artists. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Bottin's amazing.
Let's see here. What's up, guys? Everyone in the chat. Michael, it's good to see you here. That's Alpha. This should be a really fun show. Yeah, we didn't even actually give Alpha his proper introduction. So if you guys are on the channel every single week, you've probably seen him pop in here and there. Yeah. But if you haven't, he's got his own channel, Alpha Romero. He likes to cover all things George Romero and then some. So, and I don't think I've met anybody that's more like on
psychotic.
Well, it is kind of it's a spectrum of sorts, right? I'm
on some kind of spectrum. Yeah.
I think we all are if we are this obsessed with horror. Yeah.
You know when you watch like a modern day 4K or Blu-ray, and they've got like, they've already exhausted all their special features in the Blu-ray and DVD era. So aside from porting all those over, the only thing they can add is like breakdown of the film from a scholar, and it's always some random asshole you've never heard, you don't know him from Adam, and he went to he went to like Duke or something. Like, what makes this guy an authority? That's Alpha. He would show up on one of those Blu-ray and he would just school you and he would tell you everything you need to know. So that's high praise.
My favorite podcaster, Alpha Romero, right down here. Go subscribe to him. So
thank you. Yeah, guys. At Alpha Romero 88.
Yes.
And yeah. So everybody give him a round of applause. Thank you for joining us. I didn't want anybody else on here with us to do these.
Man, I was stoked you guys were doing this because I was such a fan of what you guys were doing with the Fangoria stuff. And I remember being on one of those and just had a blast doing it. So when I heard you guys were doing this and you guys invited me on, I was like, hell yeah, man, just let me know. I'll be there. So I've been looking forward to this.
Awesome. So let's see here. Where are we at? I'm going to try not to get too overwhelmed with comments because we're going to get started in 2 seconds. Let's see. Dude made the Thing's kick-ass effects at just 23. Wow, is he 23?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow.
Didn't he have a nervous breakdown or something like that after working on the Thing, because he would like not sleep, and I think he was doing a shit ton of, I'm not going to say anything I'm not sure of, but I think he worked himself half to death
doing the hard stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
Scott Walker, welcome to the chat. Hi, boys. How you doing this week? Guess what? I saw Scream 7 on Thursday, and it was so good, and I loved it. Scared the holy shit out of me. My fiance did not get scared at all. Yeah,
I'm glad you liked it, brother.
I'm glad you liked it too. You're a little late on that. I didn't think it was very scary. Matthew Lillard on a screen doesn't scare me very much, But we'll see if they do better with 8. I personally didn't care for it. Kevin, he says, I've never read this issue myself, so I'm stoked to go through it with everyone tonight.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get started. Everybody keep the comments coming. I'll get caught up, I swear. All right, Todd. Get your fingers ready. Okay, so I like to read the ads. I like to see what we're dealing with. 2 classic horror films rise from the tomb. The Laurel's Grasp.
Never heard of
Horror
that.
Rises from the Tomb.
Paul Naschy films. So yeah, I've never seen any of those films.
That's not on my radar.
Yeah.
In their most complete, uncut, original versions ever. Yeah, I've never heard of these, man. Let's go ahead and look at the let's see what we're in for with the issue. Let me kind of break down the key. Can you move it over a little bit?
Yep.
Zoom in if you could.
Oops, sorry.
Was that Afro Man?
He was hot at the time. Was that because I got high? Was that no? It's a little late. That was like more like high school. Let's see. Man, is
Rodrigo, the founder of the magazine. So we'll see it.
Hell yeah,
that's all about. God, why is this? Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening here.
Todd, you eating buttery popcorn over there? Why are your fingers so slick? Okay. All right, so
I'm actually okay. You can actually click on these, and it takes you to the page. I see how it works.
So that'll keep it simple.
That's handy.
Okay, go ahead and zoom in on. Let's just I want to go through everything. What we're in for. Man is still the warmest place to hide. I've always thought that was a very erotic title.
That's my motto.
Yeah, that's right. This Halloween, we honor the silver anniversary of John Carpenter's masterpiece, The Thing. Interviews with Carpenter, Rob Bottin, Kurt Russell, and Keith David. First of all, Kurt Russell. My gosh, I love that guy.
Yes.
I can watch interviews with that guy all the time. He's so jolly. He always looks like he wants to be there talking about what he's talking about. And he doesn't forget his past. He's not like Jamie Lee Curtis.
He's on the new documentary too. So that's why I'm looking forward to actually watching that when it comes out.
Plus Thing Fest, Universal Horror Nights, The Thing. Wow. When did Universal Horror Nights start?
I couldn't tell you. I've never been to one.
I didn't even know it was like going on back in 07. The Thing, Assimilation, and more. I don't know what that is either. See, like some of this stuff has been lost to time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Memoirs from the Rue Morgue. Rue Morgue celebrates its 10th anniversary. This is a story of how we came to be by Rodrigo Gudinho. Wow. Okay. So that'll be very interesting. The manuscript of Jacobach Botch. Clive Barker returns. Clive Barker returns to horror lit with Mr. Begone. Plus a look at his gory new game, Jericho. Okay, so fun fact, we'll get into that. I bought Mr. Be Gone when that
Okay.
when that came out. I went to Barnes and Noble and I picked it up because that was like his first book. In a minute, he had a little bit of a lapse there. Like he went to rehab or something. He had a bit of a break.
He relapsed. He relapsed.
Fun fact though, I didn't finish it. It didn't really do a lot for me, but maybe I should go back to it. And I remember Jericho. So that would have been, was that PS2?
Yeah, I think PS2. Yeah.
Not
2007,
PS3.
that'd have been around PS2, I think.
So, and I remember I think he had a hand in the story, or he might have wrote everything with it, but that as well. I remember seeing it. I didn't play it. Heavier Than Hell, A History of Black Metal, examining the global phenomenon, plus 10 essential black metal albums. Okay, we'll see how many of those I know. If they're the essential ones, I probably know them.
Mhm.
We've got a resident black metal guy on our channel that pops in seldomly, but he goes deep. Like he's
Very
that
deep.
guy that only liked him on their demo.
He's a gatekeeper. Yeah.
Tape trading cassettes and the whole deal. And by the time they've hit my doorstep and they've reached my universe, he's been over them for fucking a year. It's just that kind of guy. But I'm looking forward to going through that because I'm a music guy. The Bloodsuckers of Barrow, Alaska. 30 Days of Night finally comes to the big screen. Plus FearNet's new web serial. Wow, FearNet.
I remember
that.
That's been a while though, man.
So this is officially, we're in .com era in 07. This is before social media was super huge. I mean, obviously it was around. This is before
2 years, I think. Yeah.
Before podcasting. But people are still buying print in droves, but we've got I'm pretty sure Bloody Disgusting was probably out at this time. And so it's an interesting time. Invasion of the Podcasters. This is what we're obviously interested in. Tune into the weird world of radio style horror podcasts. So was it horror podcasts? Were we like the first niche? I doubt people were doing podcasts about whittling wood in 07.
I don't know because I never listened to any
2007, man. That was when people saw in black and white. So you never know. But
my first introduction to podcasting was exploitation film, horror films. It was sort of this world, I didn't. So yeah, I don't know, but only guys that are into this stuff. No offense, I'm one of those guys too. The guys that are into black metal, the guys that are into exploitation films, it's the guys in their basements living paycheck to paycheck that need a hobby, especially you lived in the Midwest. Yeah. My God, it's either you stay inside and you talk on Skype with your friends and you record it for nobody to listen to, or you go out and freeze to death or do meth. There's nothing else to do in the cornfields of Nebraska and Missouri, et cetera, et cetera. Looking forward to that.
Or do meth.
It's Nebraska and Missouri's number one export, baby. Not corn anymore. It's not beef.
It's the same thing in Kentucky. So I get
meth. Meth is what's for dinner. Monsters for breakfast. Start your day with Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Booberry, and the gang. What?
Awesome. They're gonna talk about the cereal.
What is that?
Cereal.
The cereal, dude. I love it.
Well, it didn't come out in 07. What the hell is that?
I don't know. Maybe they re-released it. Who knows?
Hey, I'm down, man. Blood on. What's so funny is all those are kind of good, but they all taste the same. I know it's like a weird hint of blueberry, a hint of strawberry, but they're all the same thing to me. Once you put milk in it.
I have a theory that a lot of that shit is just mental, where they don't have different flavors. Like Airheads, perfect example.
Yeah.
You try the Airheads in your mind. You try the blue one, it tastes like blueberry or whatever. You try the red one, it tastes like cherry. Then you try the mystery one, and it really doesn't taste particularly like anything. But I think it's because it's not symbolized. It doesn't have a packaging to it where it's not so your mind isn't thinking. Yeah,
it's actually not true at all. I know the truth behind that. That's the leftover shit. Instead of wasting it when they were making it, instead of wasting it, they would scoop up the remnants.
Yeah,
and they would just throw. And it was actually a mixture of every flavor.
Oh,
that makes sense.
It was just the crap at the bottom, and they didn't put color dye in it, and it didn't have any taste. And from mystery flavor to mystery flavor, they never tasted 100% 1-to-1 because it's just everything mixed. And it's so funny. I went on that deep dive one day.
What, did you watch a YouTube video on this? What?
I don't remember where I got.
You
I
went on
don't
a
ask-
deep dive about Airheads one day.
Yeah, because I used to do the white ones, and I'm like, what is in those
I
white
like
ones?
the white. I like the white ones.
That's what I've always said. It's like the mystery. Well, they don't, because they're supposed to taste like, oh, this one is cherry or this one is blueberry, and they never taste like any fucking thing except like whatever
look,
you're thinking it is.
Great deceivers or marketing geniuses. They're like, hey, try and guess which flavor you got. You couldn't, because it was just everything. It was like a dirty.
It was the
dirty
mystery
soda.
meat on a Friday in the school cafeteria. Basically,
It was.
what
It
you're
was.
saying.
It was Airhead dirty soda, baby, and it's absolutely brilliant. Anyway,
It is actually.
it's like mixing Kool-Aid coming from a poor kid. I used to mix all the Kool-Aid flavors, and you never got a bad. It didn't ever taste bad. It didn't matter what you did. It was gonna taste all right. It's not like you were gonna come up with some secret fucking chemistry fucking experiment and get the one that kills you. It all tasted okay.
The one that just blows up, it's like it's like going to 7-Eleven and doing the graveyard, where you get one, you go to the soda fountain and you get a little bit of everything, and it never tastes bad. It's just,
I made that reference 2 minutes ago. The dirty soda of Airheads. Stuka's Dive, how you doing, man?
Hey.
Looks like I found a new channel to sub to. We appreciate you, man.
Grant, my man, what's up?
Okay, so Grant's one of yours. Okay,
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Scott. The shark movies below 64 meters below. That movie got a sequel. Do you think it's possible the horror film Killer Whale will get a sequel? Hold on, Scott. You're the fucking dude that talks about killer whales all the time. Okay, I'm putting my foot down.
You're the killer whale guy.
Every stream, you continuously ask about killer whales and killer whale movies, and I'm convinced you want to make a movie about a killer dog starring a really adorable puppy like a cocker spaniel.
We talked about this last week.
And a killer whale,
yeah.
and you don't need my blessing. I think you should make your movie, baby. And
we will read the script.
We don't have enough. We don't have enough killer whale movies, so do it, man. I would 100% watch it. It's so funny though, because
which is amazing for an animal that has killer in its name. There's not a lot of horror movies with killer whales. Yeah.
I knew somebody that cleaned the house of the parents of the director of 64 Meters Below. Weird, random fact.
Wow.
That nobody's better from his mom. Dude, my grandparents went to church with Brad Pitt's parents, man. I didn't care about that either. But I should have got autographs.
Well,
all
NATO.
Right, guys.
That's what we need. Well, NATO.
Exploited Cinema podcast. I don't know when Exploited Cinema started exactly. We started in 2011. But that
10 or 9.
That felt like it was the first. It was so niche. Like, even when we started, I literally had to ask Todd, like, what the fuck's a podcast? Even though I had been like bubbling for a couple of years, it was that like underground.
Yeah, I started out listening to Canadian Fear Rocks. They were like the exploitation of Canada. They were early too, and I kind of went from there, and I was just hooked ever since I started listening to them.
I remember Canadian Fear Rocks. The first one that I know of, and I didn't discover them until later on, was Dead Pit Radio. They started in 2005. That was when they first started, and they were just horror talk radio. They were podcasting. They didn't even know what the hell that was at the time. So
yeah, it was before it had the title internet radio and things like that. But yeah, first couple of podcasts were very niche outcast stuff. I just have to believe it was stuff in the media world. I don't think people talking about knitting and yarn, and like now there's like literally a podcast for every little niche you could think of, and I just don't think it wasn't somebody telling you week on week on how to suck an egg right. It was literally people talking about things that you're passionate about.
I subscribe to that one, actually. That's a good show.
It was people talking about what they're passionate about, which is gonna be stuff like this. Kool-Aid in a pickle. Whatever floats your boat, Satan.
Pickled
cucumber.
No. Did you use the Kool-Aid to lube up the pickle?
Well, they also have the pickled eggs in Kool-Aid, right?
Some people like their cucumbers pickled. I don't know.
Yeah, Kevin, well, NATO, I'm here for that. It could. There's a market for it. Give Scott a break. He's from Australia. We get it. Like, your whole world is dominated by the fear of fucking animals in the ocean and in the outback. Like, I wouldn't be able to live in Australia, brother, because it's like I just think everything's gonna be like Crocodile Dundee. There's gonna be like a tarantula crawling on me in the middle of the night and stuff. But anyway, I think you should I think you should make your whale movie. I know you want to.
Mhm.
So, and I will be here to talk about it when you do. All right. So where were we? Monsters for Breakfast. We did that.
Monsters for
Blood on
Breakfast.
Steel. Oh, this is great. This is a piece of my heart. Blood on Steel, 25 years of Metal Blade Records.
Mhm.
I love Metal Blade Records. Obviously, Metal Blade Records celebrates a quarter century of bloody, brutal heavy metal. Dude, Metal Blade Records, man. Obviously, they technically gave Metallica their start. They were on first on one of their very, very famous Metal Massacre compilation records before they got signed to Megaforce. And obviously, you know, Armored Saint in later, you know, just so many Hellraiser 3 alumni, Armored Saint, you know, playing at the club. Love Metal Blade Records, man. Amazing stuff. Studies in Madness. Enter the Nightmare Factory, a graphic novelization of Thomas Ligotti's stories. No clue what that is, but we're going to find out. Undead Headbanger. Meet Johnny Gruesome, Greg Lambertson's undead metal-loving zombie. You know, it's going to be interesting.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting to see how much of this stuff was such a flash in the pan and died on the vine and never, you know, Metal Blade Records is still around.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who Thomas Ligotti, Johnny Tsunami is.
Yeah, for every Metal Blade Records, there's like 20 Thomas Ligottis in the world, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, note from the underground, The Thing, post-mortem, letters from fans, readers, and weirdos. It's always my favorite part.
Yeah.
Always my favorite part, and I really hope they are weirdos. You know, like I always imagine the people that wrote into these magazines were like you ever work at a call center? If you worked at a call center and you worked like an overnight shift on a Saturday, you always get that guy that just calls in. He doesn't want to pay his bill. He just wants to breathe heavily and he's like touching himself. And then like you hang up and then like the guy the next stall over gets him. Like now I
was
him.
bored. Okay, I was
You
bored.
just said-
What do you want me to? What do you want
I'm
me to
just
do?
saying, like,
Alpha.
I hope that's the kind of weirdos we get.
I was alone on a Saturday night. I can't, come on.
Dreadlines, news highlights, horror happenings, the coroner's report, weird stats and morbid facts, needful things, Todd's favorite movie.
Yeah.
Strange trinkets from our bazaar of the bazaar. Cinemacabre. That's a good name. That should have been
a good name.
Sounds like a podcast name. There's probably a podcast.
Yeah, really.
I'm sure.
The latest films, the newest DVDs and reissues. That'll be fun.
Yeah. That'll be cool.
D-
Yeah, 2007.
DVDs.
That was
That
like
was a lot of
the
good
height
stuff.
of fucking
The height.
DVDs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And right
Right.
at the beginning of Blu-ray too. I wonder if they have anything Blu-ray in there.
You know, the DVD era is in a lot of ways king because it was just the biggest jump, like from VHS to that new format where we had, you know, you could pick your chapters, you had special features, and they honestly blew their wad with the special features in the DVD era because they had nothing to build from. Because in Blu-ray, it's like the packaging got worse, cheaper, and they just poured it over everything in standard definition. And they were adding Blu-ray was still okay. They were adding some stuff. We were getting new releases, and just now it's just like by the time we're in 4K, we have nothing new. So, dude,
this was like, man, when DVD came out, you didn't give a shit. Like now, it's like people look at like the covers and the artwork and stuff, and that's what they judge it on because they don't because there's nothing really else there. There's like, oh, it's a 4K restoration, but man, this box set is awesome and it has books and it has all this extra bullshit that nobody cares about. And it's like, but back when DVD was out, it was just a DVD with a commentary, maybe a documentary on it, and you didn't give a shit. It was just like, oh my God, I can finally see this, Lucio Fulci film that I've heard about for years and is now available because of Anchor Bay. And it's just like, you didn't care. You were just happy to have the movie. Whereas like now, like I said, now it's just like, oh, well, what does the artwork look like? What are the, and it's just like, it's just not, I don't know, it's just not the same,
Schizoid Cinephile spotlight is Fright Night. Very cool. Is that just a segment where they shine a spotlight on an old classic? Fright Night's an awesome movie, which they have a new release of Fright Night coming down the pike, which is going to be awesome. Speaking of the art's pretty, the art's pretty on that Alpha.
You cardboard enthusiasts.
You get three options. That's what they got to do to please us now. It's like we're gonna give them three variants to choose from on the artwork because that's all we care about. Blood in 4 colors. Oh, the Canadian spelling, colors. It's like the British spelling. The horror comic book gospel. The Ninth Circle spotlight is F. Paul Wilson. I guess I'll be learning who that is. Travelogue of Terror, Mexico's Day of the Dead Festival, The Gourmet, Menu is inner depravity. I have no clue what that is. Neither the title nor the explanation
No idea.
has given me an idea of what that is, so I'm looking forward to it. Audiodrome, Spotlight, the darkest of the hillside thicket.
Now that would be a kick-ass podcast name right there, Audiodrome.
Mhm. Yeah.
Audiodrome, yeah. These
Write
are
that
all podcast names. None of these are trade.
This is where every podcast now got their names from.
Yeah,
They just looked through an old edition of Rue Morgue and was like,
Play Dead. I mean, that's
Cinephile,
another one.
perfect. Audiodrome, Play Dead, classic. Now you see all these channels on fucking YouTube.
Kevin, I'm gonna guess none of these are trademarked. It's up for grabs. So yeah, Play Dead, new and upcoming games. Awesome. That's very exciting to be able to talk a little bit about games and music in a little bit, because we don't really get to do that often. Classic cut, John W. Campbell's Who Goes There. Again, something I'm going to get schooled on. Go ahead and are we going to click it though? Do you want to click it or scroll through the pages, Todd? What's going to be easier? Oh, you probably need to scroll. I don't know. Because it's not like, are you going to be able to go back to the homepage every time and just click a link?
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm scrolling through the pages.
All right. So note from Underground. Ooh. Okay. This is a lot of words, guys. Zoom up for me. Man is the warmest place to hide. I've always loved that tagline. It adeptly conveys the essence of my absolute favorite horror film, Carpenter's The Thing, a masterpiece alien invasion movie that reeks doomsday from the moment of its opening title sequence burns itself on screen, accompanied by Ennio Morricone's desolate, thumping electronic score, one of the best he's ever laid down. Now I know it's got its nicks and bruises, but GD, if I'm a Christian, guys, I'm not going to say it. It's bad juju. If I've ever seen a scarier, more perfectly executed story than The Thing, and that's pretty much where my undying devotion to the movie comes from, a terrifying story well told. Too many modern films rely heavily on the idea that there are two basic ingredients in a good fright flick: sex and blood. And while I certainly possess no aversion to either of those things, the notion that the horror film should be couched in them is simply wrong. The Thing is the genre's exhibit A in the matter. Here is a story compromised entirely of men, 12 men trapped in an icy tomb with something beyond their comprehension, a Lovecraftian tentacled abomination that threatens to infect and destroy humanity in roughly 27,000 hours from first contact, one assimilated person at a time. With the exception of Adrienne Barbeau's voice as the cheating bitch computer chess game, there are no women at U.S. Outpost 31, where scientists and the crew of an isolated American research team are hijacked by an unseen force during the first GD week of winter. As such, the story doesn't flirt with sexual tension, straight, homosexual, or otherwise. Are they supposed to go prison mode because they're all guys trapped in they're not trapped there that long.
It's gonna be a long winter, to quote.
If it turned into that, I think the grease wheels already wanted to get the squeaky wheels wanted to get grease. Is that how it says?
Yeah, that's it.
I got dibs on Brimley. Let's see. And it doesn't need to. The Thing, whatever it isn't interested in gender or species for that matter. It appears first in the film as a mysterious dog being pursued by an inexplicably trigger-happy Norwegian scientist. It just wants to transmogrify, what a word, our flesh, imitate us, and move us on to the next victim. My vocabulary is expanding with Rue Morgue. I'm impressed with the writing.
I know, I didn't know that was Adrienne Barbeau's voice either.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. On physical transmutation, it's utterly impracticable to discuss The Thing without noting its magnificent special effects. Rob Bottin, my all-time favorite FX master, who I'm proud to say is interviewed here for the first time in many years, broke new ground with his astonishing sculptures and boundless creative effects sequences, which served to elevate the film to gore showpiece status. One cannot think about The Thing without recalling the disturbing, slime-dripping, mid-imitation burn thing carcasses, a dog's face splitting open and sprouting tentacles, Norris's hideous that's a hard word to say for me, defibrillated jaw trap, stomach, and that iconic spider head. You got to be fucking kidding, indeed. By contrast, I think what's most terrifying about The Thing, though, is what we don't see. The idea that what's hidden inside of us, in this case, a sentient disease embodied terrorist with the power to bring forth the apocalypse, can observe us through its human disguise, waiting for the precise private moment to reveal itself. A beast that still retains cellular activity even after it's been burned. The notion that one or even all of us could be The Thing and not even know is profoundly unnerving. There's a metaphor for disease there. The metaphor for AIDS. Is that? I feel like this is the interpretation. Who wrote this? This might be like some of this seems like interpretation of the writer, maybe like some of the stuff and that's great. That's what makes great art. That's what makes great art. And most frightening, a metaphor for the inability to trust our most intimate partners. See, nobody gets down in this movie. It'd be different if they were all like,
yeah.
You know. Never mind our fellow man. It's for that reason the thing still has the power to get into our skin and raise goosebumps on our flesh 25 years after its otherworldly birth. Its bitterly cold, lonely atmosphere practically seized with paranoia, despair, solitude, and inescapable dread. It's as if you already know from the get-go that it's all going to end very badly. And of course it does, as McCready, Kurt Russell, and Childs, Keith David, decide to wait and see what happens during the film's bleak finale. Spoilers. The screen goes black. We love The Thing for that, for having a grisly life of its own, and for doing what film's instinct tells us to do, much like the eponymous monster lurking inside Happy Halloween. What a great write-up. There's going to be pictures, Satan. We're gonna have to
calm down, Satan.
We're gonna have to pace it a little bit because this is a big issue. I might not read all this stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But we got to read the post-mortem though, right?
Yeah, post-mortem. Yeah, the post-mortem, I'm going through every bit of this. I already saw somebody Rob Zombie. What? Somebody's
shitting on the Rob Zombie remake.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I love talking about Rob Zombie. He's he's a topic. Okay, so first off, I wanted to say screw you, David Alexander, for the comment you made about the movie Underworld, saying it's a dumb, flashy teen flick. It is nothing like that. Did you actually watch the fucking movie?
That's exactly what it is.
I don't know who David Alexander is, but I like him already.
Yeah,
it's not that bad. I guess you're just into B-rated, low-budget zombie movies. It seems the magazine loves and favors them. Secondly, I agree with what Rachel R. said in Rue Morgue 71's post-mortem section. I would also like to see a female serial killer, someone as psycho as Michael Myers, and not just a lesbian like Alien pornos. What? Wait, because we all know that causes mental illness.
I think Monster had just come out this year, so Eileen was like fresh on the brain. Yeah,
you're right. Okay, I was like left field. I think Pamela Voorhees, Jason's mom, as if we need an explanation on that, is the only one. This is something that hasn't been done.
Pamela.
That's so funny. Like, what magazine do you think he's writing to where he has to clarify who Pamela Voorhees is? This is something that hasn't been done, and I'm not sure why. We're just this is literally the year of Scream 2, and we've had female killers in the Scream franchise alone. We're coming. Let's see. I also noticed that the same ad for antibodies ran twice. It's in the new issue and last month's issue. It also said that's available August 28th, but I can't find it anywhere. Can you stop wasting space with something we've seen in post new movie ads? God dang, bro.
Wow.
What was wrong with him? Are you okay, Richard?
Richard.
Who hurt
this
you?
This is the guy that would thrive on Twitter now. I'm sure he's on Twitter right now, just bitching out somebody about something.
This is maybe the equivalent, right?
Yep, the social media. Yeah.
The Dear Abbeys, man. You got to write in and this is how people would profess and confess to serial killings. They'd write their local newspaper and bond with a journalist or whatever. And finally, why is most of the clothing you advertise for women only? Oh, he's a woman hater. What the fuck is going on? I'm pretty sure the majority of readers are guys. And we also know who Pamela Voorhees is, you incel. Sorry. I don't mind the ads, but quit being sexist and start advertising shirts and stuff for men also. P.S. Don't take my comments the wrong way. I do love the magazine. We'll continue to read it.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh,
well, wanted to bitch about something.
Fuck you and everything you stand for, but I love you. See?
Yeah.
Look, I'm being a little facetious. He's obviously very passionate, and that is kind of the life's blood of stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
And what would something
guys like this guy are the guys that ended up starting their own podcasts or YouTube channels now. So this guy probably has a YouTube channel. Yeah, like I was this guy on forums back in the day. I can't lie, it's like
this guy's on 4chan today. No, but seriously, what would the horror community or even the metal community, what would it be if you didn't have this front line of this pulse of people like this that are this passionate? But right. Richard Reeves, from Vancouver, British Columbia. We do salute you. That was a great
Oh,
write-in.
he's a Canadian. That explains that.
I mean, I love that he came in swinging. It set the tone. So Dax from Las Vegas he better keep up the momentum. Classic Cuts presents Deep Red and Chaz Ballon. That seems long overdue. I don't know what that. I know what Deep Red is. I don't know what Chaz Ballon is. That seems long overdue. I truly can't express how pleased I am to read these words from the last pages of number 71. I've been a longtime fan of Deep Red and have been addicted to the writings and rants of the great Chaz Ballon. Chaz Bono for a long time. I probably wouldn't have begun reading Rue Morgue without Deep Red. I still treasure my copy of Horror Holocaust, Beyond Horror Holocaust, and keep my well-worn copy of Gore Score near. Gore Score. Do you guys remember that?
Gore Score, no.
I've never heard of Gore Score.
Awesome name. I proudly wear my Rotten Cotton shirts. We know that.
Oh, Rotten Cotton,
with their Ballon illustrations, and I'm highly influenced by his work. Thank you for shining the spotlight on a true hero of horror, Dax, Las Vegas. Wow. Yeah, Rotten Cotton. This is starting to take me back to 07.
Oh, yeah.
And before, for sure.
I remember going to RottenCotton.com, and that was like a borderline porno site back in the day. It felt like you'd hop on there, and like the first thing you see is Fulci's Zombie, like right up front. And you're just like, oh yeah. And you see all these shirts. Like I remember being as a kid, just seeing all these shirts is just like, God damn, I want all of these, But this was 2007. This was pre me having a credit card or anything like that. So like if I didn't see it physically, I'd never like eBay or anything like that. That didn't exist to me at the time either.
And they used to have like all the hot model goth girls that are like, wearing the shirt, stuff like that. And you're like, oh man, this is great. I love Rotten Cotton.
Kevin says he shed some light on the Gourmet. He said it was the first column he fell in love with. It's all about gore films. He's since passed on, but I still cherish those columns and those older issues. All right, that'll be awesome, man. Really excited to get schooled on some stuff.
Yeah.
And Mendoza, no one has ever made a GP parody of The Thing, surprisingly. What would it be called? The Really Big Thing?
The Thing. I mean, that's a good title for it.
the Stiff Thing?
The Throbbing Thing. The Thing from Another Planet.
And you can even like keep like a tagline related to that whole hiding inside some guy, warmth of a guy. Yeah, there you go. It writes itself.
Yeah, really. I mean, I'm just figuring some shit out tonight about The Thing.
Chaz Ballon was an old school horror critic, one of the forefathers. All right. Scott is one. It's one of those things that I do. Okay, it's one of those things that I do not like about The Thing. It's when they're the creature attached to the dog, and the dog becomes the creature itself. It's so bad for that poor dog. I mean, no one is safe in this movie.
No.
Even the doggo gets it. But I feel you, man. I feel you. So moving on, being a huge all caps Rob Zombie fan, I was very disappointed at his scareless remake of Halloween. You and me too, brother.
Scareless.
I changed my mind, however, after I got to see a bootleg of his early work print. Not only is the second half completely different, but it is a clearer and superior film to the one infesting multiplexes. Passion. As with the case of H6, the studio has overreacted to the test screenings and has only made the film worse. My only hope is that they learn from their mistake and release the director's cut someday. Just ask the studio that released Exorcist the beginning and later released Dominion. It makes the case that sometimes your first decision is the right decision. Yeah, that whole Exorcist beginning Dominion thing was weird.
Yeah.
Why would you confuse the market like that anyway? What was it one or two that had that? There was a director's cut, right, of Halloween Rob Zombie 1.
Yeah,
and I don't remember the differences.
Different. Yeah, I don't either.
There has to be.
Well, the director's cut I think has the original, like the scene where Michael escapes from the sanitarium. They reshot that scene with forget who all was in it. A bunch of Rob Zombie regulars. I think Leslie Easterbrook was in it, but they reshot it for the theatrical version because Rob Zombie's original version was the pretty hardcore one. And that was the one that they ended up releasing on DVD. So yeah, there are two different cuts of it. I don't know if it's exactly the one this dude's talking about, but
well, I know the producer's cut for Halloween 6. I mean, it's garbage, dude. I hate Halloween 6.
They're both bad.
I don't understand anybody that's like, because I heard that all the time growing up. Because I remember everyone's like, "Oh, well, you got to see the producer's cut of Halloween."
It was
6.
forbidden fruit. That's why it was just forbidden fruit. It was it sucks.
And I bought a bootleg version of it on DVD from I don't know, some table at a Texas Fright Weekend back in the day, and I remember watching it and thinking like, well, this is fucking worse than the one that they put out. It's like it ends with Michael being stopped by rocks.
Rocks.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, okay, like what did I miss? Like this is the better version. Are
bad.
you sure? Like this is the one you guys are talking about?
I think they're both equally bad. Don't make me
Yeah,
choose.
they're
'Cause I
both
don't want to
bad.
watch
Yeah, I don't
either
think
one
it-
of them anymore. Chris Alexander, you complete me, dude. The Devil's Nightmare has been on my favorite horror list for the last couple of years now, but I've never met anybody who even heard of it. Sorry. Yet there you were, enshrined yet another gothic, awesome, and gloriously trashy epic in your column. You're awesome, man. A big enjoyment for me was matching up the 7 deadly sins with the victims in the movie, but who was supposed to be Envy? However, beautiful as Erica Blaine was, I still think that she was outdone in sexiness by Ivana Novak. Ooh, she's just not as dynamic or as nasty. Anyway, I salute you, sir. May you continue to shine the light of your dark love on the forgotten chapters of horror history. Austin out. He did the mic drop.
Austin
basically.
out. Like
I,
yeah,
I need
I
to
guess-
watch that, dude. That Devil's Nightmare. It's a sleazy, satanic, like gothic movie from the 70s. So it'd be something to watch. If
Well-
Chris recommends it, then I'll watch it, Chris.
is this the same Chris Alexander that worked for Fangoria for all those
I don't
years?
know.
Because
I
I
don't
know
know.
that there was a Chris Alexander who was in charge of Fangoria for all those years, and he was recently selling one of his 16 millimeter, or I think it was a 16 millimeter print of Dawn of the Dead on eBay, and my buddy bought it, and then he reneged on it, and he was just like, "Oh no, I've changed my
Oh.
mind. Like I'm not going to sell it," and I was just like, and it was Chris Alexander, the Fangoria guy. So
That's a question for Kevin if he's in the chat.
No.
Scroll down. Thank you, Josh Austin from Noonan, Georgia. I want to thank you from the bottom of my. Sorry, they keep capitalizing the first 3 or 4 words, and I want to yell them. I
to
want to
emphasize it.
thank you
I want
the-
to.
from the
Thank
bottom
you.
of my heart for the Festival of Fear. I read the ads for horror cons in the USA and the pages of Fangoria for many years. I always wished that there would be such an event here in Toronto. I was thrilled to learn that Rue Morgue would be sponsoring such an event at Fan Expo 04. I had a wonderful time at that first Festival of Fear and have attended each one since. It is a real pleasure and delight for me to be able to meet and hear in person the icons and stars of the horror film industry that I love so much, especially enjoy meeting the Scream. Todd, you got to be on it. Scream Queens. So I hope that you will continue to have a strong female presence on your guest list. I realize that the pre-planning and logistics for such an event must be enormous. So thank you to everyone at Rue Morgue, Robert Guard. Address withheld. So yeah, people well, they're not giving their address, they're just giving their city. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if the Festival of Fear is still going on or if that stopped. Let's see. That's what I was looking up right now. 2012, I think, was the last one.
Do any of you got probably not because but maybe you guys have, but anybody in the chat have any experience of the con world in the early noughts? You know, like what I've only heard the stories, and and I know they've had like nerd conventions even in like the 80s and early 90s, and it probably just got more popular as time went on. But pretty much before the Walking Dead boom, what was it like going to those things? They there's probably was there the same sort of energy because they couldn't have been as packed. And
I went to, like I said, I went to the Texas Frightmare weekend in 2008, and it was a completely different experience. Like I've been to some horror hounds and stuff here recently. It was a completely different experience. The prices were obviously different.
cheap. Yeah,
I mean, $20 was like the most you were going to pay for anybody. Conventions back in the day were mostly, and it started to change right around The Walking Dead, but conventions back in the day, it felt like they were mostly like, it was like a horror fan swap meet. It was you were going for the vendors and then the celebrities. And
why
stuff
I go
were just-
now. That's why I go now.
I mean, that's why I go now. But like now, it feels like most people go for certain celebrities, and then the vendors kind of get screwed. It feels like just from talking to various vendors.
Because people have to drop so much money, they don't have
On
any
autograph.
left.
It's insane. But back in the day, it was just like, hey, I'm going to go and see what cool shit I can find. And oh, by the way, such and such is going to be there, and such is going to be there. So they were kind of the draw, but people were mostly going to to buy, you know, bootleg
Uh-huh.
copies of stuff, and like
That's
stuff
what
you
I always
couldn't
did too.
get,
That's
you know?
yeah, that's why I always went there just to buy bootleg copies of Gator Bait and like
Yeah, the shit
Open
that you couldn't
Season,
find
like
at Walmart, you know.
stuff stuff you would never be able to find anywhere, and they're all bootleg stuff from like old VHS tapes. They bootleg them on DVDs, and that was fine for me. You know, 20 bucks, $10 for a bootleg, and I was
Yeah, and
happy about it.
Yeah, and conventions back in the day, it seemed like everybody that went to a convention was like really knowledgeable and really into horror, old school horror, new, you know, the new stuff.
All of it. Yeah.
And now it's like, it seems like ever since The Walking Dead, it feels like
General, it's a little bit more
it's
commercial,
it's
broad.
very, you run into a lot of people who are like, oh, I love Scream or I love Walking Dead, but you know nothing outside of that, basically.
Well, and it's, I'm not going to crap on it like completely because it's good for the scene in general. It's good for the health of it all, but it has become, on the plus side, it's become a family affair. Like you go there now and there's like generations and people are bringing their kids and their spouses and people love horror as a unit, which is awesome. But it's also,
and a lot of it now is also the fucking, and the cosplayers. Like there are people that just go to be seen, that are just there to dress up and just to be seen. And
if that's how they express themselves, it's whatever.
Man, that's fine. But like I remember at Texas Fright Weekend, I don't remember any cosplayers. These were guys.
These were guys that never got any sun and were afraid to come out of their mom's basement.
Exactly.
Now it's like you're showing all
These
your
are people
TNA
like me. These are people like me who just show up and just want to like dig in barrels of fucking old magazines and shit. Like that were just there to like find the precious, you know, like it was just a bunch of people like me.
Well, you do kind of remind me of a Gollum type with a mustache.
And I mean the Comic Cons and all those other like the superhero cons and all that kind of like the cosplay bled over to the horror scene and all that stuff. And once those started getting so big, and yeah, it's just the way it goes. I mean,
we could talk for hours about the convention scene. I mean, it is what it is. To put a cap on that, it's good that like a lot of actors can make supplemental income from it. It's just like the actors who don't need the supplemental income sort of took over, and you know they've gentrified the whole community, and now the people that were pretty much career con people. That sounds like bad con people. It's career con cockroaches. Look, they have to raise their prices, and now it's just unfortunately become a thing where, hey kids, Disney World this year or Texas Frightmare, because it's like that's how much it costs. It's a huge family vacation, but you know it's good with the bad. It is what it is. Kevin got back to us. Yep, the same Chris. He says he's been covering horror for quite a while. I think he's currently the editor for Delirium Magazine, which is put out by Charles Band's Full Moon. So I bet it's quality. Now I don't know Delirium, but
I was gonna say, if it's grace,
if it's no offense, but if it's anything like anything else with Charles Band's name on it, past a certain year, I don't know. Count me out. You know, Charles Band, I met Charles Band at a convention once, and you know, he's the only guy where if you get his movie signed, it actually lowers the value. That's true.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah.
You know, and you could buy the films, and he was like basically giving them away. It's like, hey, buy you can pick out 5 Blu-rays for $20. And you also get a free year to our lousy full moon subscription service. And he ripped them all open, like the shrink wrap, and signed them all. And I'm like, wow, I got transfer signed by the Charles Band. And but it was literally devalued with his signature on it. It's true.
The thing is, he is a super nice guy, but he's a carnival barker, dude. I mean,
he's a snake oil salesman.
Yeah, he is.
He was that guy back in the day trying to like sell you the slurry that'll cure every ail. You know,
but he was a super nice guy. He was fun to talk to. But yeah, he's like that.
Hey, I'm not being mean. Satan's telling me this. I'm not being mean. I'm being honest. He's a super nice guy. Like,
when Satan is telling you to stop being mean, that's saying something.
I'm not being mean. I'm just saying, like, I'm being honest. He would be a fun lunch conversation, but he's actually brilliant. You know, he bought a castle and he knows his margins. He bought a castle, so pretty much all of his films are going to be set in this fucking castle. And he turn and burns these films, man. And he knows what he's putting out. After a certain,
he knows his market, man, and people like that.
He's got his margins in check, so it's a business. He's a businessman. It is what it is. I'm not being mean to him. Come on now.
No.
He's got dreamy blue eyes. I couldn't be mean to those eyes. All right. Anyway, where were we at? Let's go. Yeah, my name is Nathan Buckler. And on behalf of all the horror.
Bueller.
Oh,
Bueller?
Baylor. Brett
Cool.
Butler.
Bueller?
And on behalf of all my horror fans in Toronto, or the 13 people in Perry Sound who come down for the Thursday Cinema Macabre movie nights, thank you for bringing amazing films to the Bloor Cinema for us to see and crap our pants. Get that checked out. You might have Crohn's. I am a monstrous, gargantuan fans of everything horror, and Rue Morgue definitely delivers on every aspect of the genre. Thank you and all your amazing hardworking staff, Nathan Bueller. Yeah, I like the praise write-ins too. They're nice. Like, it's a nice balance of the angry,
Yeah,
and the
mixture.
praise.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
This
I
is
would
a
buy
hell
an
of a
extra
list
bootleg.
here.
I missed that comment earlier. You know how much I love extra, Satan. You're getting me to. You're speaking my heart. I love extra.
I got the extra Blu-ray. I don't know. Second Sight put that out a long time ago.
I know, and I missed out on it. Do you guys really want Matthew Scott? If I turn these pages and we see Scream 7, we'll talk about it. But guess
Yeah,
what?
I'll-
I doubt
I'll
that's going to
scream
happen.
I'll scream tonight. Sorry, brother.
But hey, speaking of the convention scene, Matthew Lillard is like top of the heat now. He is going
Yeah.
through a renaissance, and people love that guy, and God bless him for it.
Yeah, and you
No-
know what? I've heard from everything that I've heard from anybody that has met him. He's like the
Grateful.
coolest. Yeah, the coolest guy.
He takes time.
So if there's one guy that you would spend the money to meet, Matthew Lowe. I mean, he's done so much stuff. Just not even just Scream, but I mean,
Wing Commander, everybody in the back.
Scooby-Doo.
That
SLC
was big.
Punk, one of my all-time favorite movies. I mean,
Yeah,
I love
that's a
Matt.
good movie,
Serial
yeah.
Mom, man. Matthew Lillard's done all
We've
kinds
already
of good
talked
shit.
about this in past streams. That's how you succeed with the convention circuit.
Yeah.
Be nice. People will see you again and again. People will repeat. They will
Yep.
come back and get more stuff from you. Like, the word travels fast, man. You could be like a 4-tier down, quote unquote, celebrity, and you will rise through the ranks just off your reputation at those things.
That's a
Absolutely.
Felicia Rose. That's why she does so well. I mean,
Hell yeah.
she's super nice.
She's awesome. Yeah.
I'm an avid fan of films by Nacho Cerda, Michael Haneke, Gaspar Noé, Fabrice Duels, Takashi Miike. I know that one. Brother
Takashi!
Sway, Chan Wook Park. I like Chan Wook Park
Yep.
too, etc. Unfortunately, since I live in the Midwest, I've exhausted all local resources for such films. I don't care about DVD region. I just want to be able to rent these films, since I currently end up buying before viewing. The only place I have found that stock movies and I'm interested in are in the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Italy, etc. Any suggestions on how someone in the US can find these types of
Yes,
films for rent
Josh.
would be
Tubi.
greatly.
Tubi.
Yeah, just go to Tubi.com.
Amazon Prime, bro.
Yeah.
This is back in the day, dude. I talked to guys that were going to anime conventions in 1990, and you'd meet some guy in the hotel room where they were
Tape
having it,
traders, yeah.
and they would open up it was some guy that went to Japan and bought a bunch of shit, and he made copies, and you'd buy it out of the trunk of his car, and he would sell them for like $100 a pop, man. Like, you could pay for your trip to Japan to go there for business, and just the Wild West, man. But they actually answered. Since those directors' films are a little under the radar, it's unlikely you'll find an online resource that rents them all. The best place to get everything you're looking for in one place is horror conventions. Go ahead and buy those movies outright. They're worth it. This is so funny. We are pre-Netflix. This is probably pre-renting the DVD in the mail through Netflix.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like I said, man, this is like early days. This is before. I mean, eBay was around and was a thing, but it wasn't.
2007. No Netflix mail orders, because I had the subscription back in
Okay.
07, I wanna believe.
But we're on the cusp. We're still
Yeah.
people still had to go to conventions and meet up with people and
Yeah.
get the bootlegs and stuff like that, or do like the mail order stuff. And like he's saying, God, can I watch them or rent them because they cost me an arm and a leg to have to import? Even now, it's like, even if you can't find it on your local streamer, you can literally change your IP with like a service, and you can access the Japanese Netflix, the UK Netflix, and you can get access to this stuff. It's just, people may take it for granted how accessible everything is here, but at the same time, it's also kind of a bad thing, because now we're just so overwhelmed. And like I
There's
said,
too much stuff. Yeah.
we take it for granted.
Yeah.
Like these people had to hunt, man.
Mhm. Yeah, what was the Blockbuster equivalent to Netflix? They had that same thing where the DVD rented was Blockbuster something. Do you remember what it was called?
I think they tried to go after Redbox too, like a Blockbuster box too. And
Yeah,
I
they had-
remember
through the mail DVDs, they actually had a better selection than
Uh-huh.
Netflix DVD physical DVDs. They had like more obscure stuff. I remember that. So I think I had both of them. Like I switched them every month to, get all the obscure stuff and burn them on different discs and all that stuff a lot back in the day. I don't do that anymore. I don't.
people used to,
You're admitting to a crime that's 20 years old, sir.
people used to get like out of print stuff out of Redbox and just keep it and pay the $20 after it was due because it was worth so much more.
Hey, you used to do the same thing at the library, so don't tell me to.
I did. Why are you incriminating me?
I'm just kidding.
We were young and wild back then. You could get away with it. Now we're older and more mature and responsible.
Damn, True Blockbuster had crap selections back then. They just didn't have. I don't. Maybe it's because I was a kid and I wasn't necessarily going to those sections. I don't recall places like Blockbuster having a foreign section. I don't remember I don't remember seeing any stuff like that. And they probably wouldn't have been. They made all their money. They made their nut off the big blockbusters, because like one wall would be like the new release. It'd be Independence Day. It'd just be like a wall of fucking just copies Independence, and you still couldn't get a copy, and maybe like they would have a deal like, 5 for $5 or something. And, you would get the new release for the top dollar, $5 or whatever, 5 for 5 days. And then you buy a couple of like, hey, I'll buy Breakdown with Kurt Russell. Why not? Cuck Russell. Why did I say Cuck
Russell?
Probably because we're talking about the thing.
That's the thing. That's the thing parody.
You're thinking about that thing parody we were talking about earlier.
Starring Cuck Russell. My gosh, man. Amazing. And Queef David. Oh, I'm done. I'm out, guys. I'm out.
Cut.
Can't top
What
it.
are you, George Costanza? You're leaving on a high note?
Speaking of John Waters, Desperate Living is coming to Criterion. I'm not a Waters guy, Satan. I'm not a John Waters fan.
I'm hot and cold on John Waters. I like some of his stuff, and some of his stuff I could care less about.
Satan, you mofos call me evil for stealing slipcovers. Well, hey, look, Todd returned his stuff to the library where they were continuing to be rented out, and the library wasn't even like selling it; it was rented, and so the slipcovers you're taking, they can no longer go to somebody else. You are robbing a hungry child out there that is desperate for slipcovers in a third world country. He's going to get it in the mail and it's going to go, but where is my missed slipcover? And it's because it's in the hands of Satan.
I learned from
what fucking impression was that? My
I always make fun of my I always pick on my wife because her family is originally from Honduras, and I always ask like were you and your mom like, oh, someday I want to go to the big America? She doesn't like it very much. Like
you're going to marry a very perfect American boy, and it's like, yeah, here I am.
All right, Dreadlines. Ooh, Lordy. Do you guys remember Lordy? They won Eurovision, and they were like a bootleg Guar. But let me kind of like skim it. I'm not going to read this whole thing.
Skim it.
We're going to have to. It's a big issue, but I'll just basically Lordy. I won't skim it, but Lordy.
Lordy.
Eurovision was a huge deal. It still is in Europe, and they won the big contest. And in Europe, they like rock and all that stuff. And they, for a minute, they got a lot of buzz, and they kind of broke into America. And they actually did that free version of Ozfest in 07.
Okay.
07 was a free Ozfest, and it was definitely trimmed down because they had worked out a way where if you bought Ozzy's new CD, which is Black Rain at the time, rest in peace Ozzy. I grew to really like Black Rain.
Black Rain sucks, dude.
Too late, falling at the trap door. I kind of like it. But anyway, you bought his album, and it had I think it had a ticket, like something you could redeem for on the inside. So that was their gimmick. But it was also very trimmed down because nobody was making any money. And I remember usually you would have like Ozzy or Sabbath and like a big band like Slipknot or maybe even like headlining underneath them. But they had to settle with what they could get at the time. Lamb of God was really hot, and so they were kind of main support for it, which is great. That was Lamb of God's Sacrament.
Yeah,
they were fucking. But normally they would have been like third on the bill, but that's fine. Anyway, they got Lordy, and I watched, and they got Static X, by the way. Rest in peace, Wayne Static.
Yeah,
but Lordy was on the bill, and I forgot all about that. I've seen Lordy live until this very moment. Thank you, Rue Morgue. Because I think everybody forgot about Lordy. Oh, Lordy.
Yeah, I don't remember Lordy at all.
They were like Gwar. They had big costumes. They were like a Gwar knockoff. They didn't really sound necessarily like Gwar, but they stole their gimmick. And they were European. So go ahead and move forward. Satan, you remember Lordy? Are they burning in hell with you right now? Toronto After Dark Film Festival expands for a year or two. Let's see. With the introduction of the Toronto After Film Festival in 2006, the city's zombie axe Willy Maniacs and ethereal ghost children finally got an event to call their very own. Is this still around? I mean, obviously we're not Canadian, but is this still a thing?
I don't think so. I haven't heard of that in years. Because I remember when they put all those After Dark Film Festival movies out on DVD. You remember? I can't think of the names of them, but I remember they put them out.
Unrest. Unrest was
one. Yeah,
I went to see The Ride or whatever, but the one with Big Green, or I think was in it. Dark Ride, I think.
I saw. Me and a buddy saw a few of them. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was cool what they were doing. Look, was Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead one of them? I still never seen Poultrygeist. Let's go ahead and move forward. We got to kind of skim some of the stuff. Dead. Oh God, guys, it's hard to believe in 2007 we were on Saw 4 actually.
Jesus Christ.
Feels like so long ago. What's this little sidebar? Can you kind of zoom in here? Roadkill from the
I think I dated that chick at one point. What is her name?
You dated Al Jorgensen from Ministry?
I think, is that who that is?
No, but it looks like him. Jesus. Hey, Satan. Jesus built my hot rod, bro. All right. What is this sidebar? Thanksgiving.com. Are they giving shout outs to websites?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Thingsgoneby.com museum, Scream TV. You got to zoom in a little bit more. What does that say? Scream TV on demand?
Yeah. Standard Scream TV on demand.com. Yeah.
Oh, horrorbid.com was trying to take on eBay. Big dog. Looking for the Heart of Fine horror collectible? You can try eBay or gothauctions.com. Gothauctions.com.
Wow. Look at this fucking website below. happyundertaker.blogspot.com/search/label/the percentage 20. Like they just copy and pasted the whole goddamn thing on there.
armorgames.com /game/zombie survivalisms _popup.html. It's so funny why we felt that was necessary to put everything. That's so nuts.
We had the blog spot. Remember that back in the day?
Yeah, but yeah, that's just weird, dude. Okay, we're moving on from that. That's funny. That's so funny because I guarantee you I bet you we could look up all those right now and they don't exist anymore. Hey, I wanted to see who Al Jorgensen really was. I got to see how much I got to judge Alpha.
Lena Lovitch.
Death Rock Festival descends on Europe, dude. Lena Lovitch, a feature performer at this year's Drop Dead Fest. Okay, yeah, Goth Rockers.
I'm pretty sure I hit that once, but I'm not. I don't have much of a memory of it.
You hit one of the members of the sex gang children. We're gonna call the cops on you, dude.
Jesus.
Jeez, I made him go into his fucking Lewis from the Nerds. He went into your Carradine, dude. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Oh, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Halloween masks and props. Shout out to 2007 Rue Morgue. Nobody was talking about Killer Clowns in 2007. The great renaissance for the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It only happened in the last decade, but I was a champion of this movie ever since I was a little kid. And so nobody knew it. I used to try and talk about this movie all the time.
Talked about it to me. I saw it late.
Nobody had ever heard it growing up. I'd be in school, middle school, even elementary school. I'd be talking about it. Nobody knew what was going on, but I still love it. I still think it's one of the perfect films to get kids into, as an entry point, right? It's PG-13. There's really no on-screen violence. It's kind of all off-screen. Hey, go back. I want to see what that other page was.
Saw?
Is just an ad?
Yeah,
Saw
man.
ad, yeah.
Oh, if it's Halloween,
Saw
it
4.
must be Saw 4. Oh, okay. Weird stats, morbid facts, the coroner's report. What the hell is this? Okay, we'll read a few of these. These could be fun. And then there's instances of chainsaw carnage. Whoa,
that's
hold
cool.
on. I'm gonna read that real quick. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So they're just listing times where people got hacked up by chainsaws.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw, Franklin gets filleted.
Mhm.
Classic.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2, Ash's Deadeye Dissection. Maybe my favorite. Bad Taste, Deranged, Derek E.T.'s Evisceration. The remake, 03 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface's lunging leg amputation. Dawn of the Dead 04, my favorite movie of all time.
Ugh.
Shuttle Bus Torso Tear. American Psycho, Bateman's Stairwell.
That one's
Bullseye.
great. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay,
Can you
so
guys
what-
think of any other like chainsaw scenes?
Ah.
Like I feel like
Um,
I mean maybe I'm not thinking of it, but like the Pieces. I always feel like there's like
Pieces.
some heavy chainsaw shit in Pieces.
It wasn't out yet, but the Evil Dead remake, didn't she go to town? The main girl in that went to town with that chainsaw at the end, like really bloody. Like that last
Yeah.
scene. But it wasn't out yet. What's up with this weird stats? Just random. Are these actually like fact check facts? A pet cat at Providence, Rhode Island nursing home seems to possess the ability to detect imminent death. The usually unfriendly feline will curl up with a resident when they have less than 4 hours to live. The cat has been correct more than 25 times during its 2-year stay at the home. You know, but
I've heard about this.
I've heard of animals sensing death, you know. And animals know when they're going too, man. Like a dog will just like go and cuddle, or it'll go be alone, you know, and just want to die alone.
Mhm.
It's an interesting little phenomenon. In 65, a young John Carpenter published 3 fanzines. They were called Fantastic Film Illustrated, King Kong Journal, and Phantasm, respectively. In medieval times, it was believed that malaria could be cured by having the patient swallow a spider wrapped in its own web. So how do they test this and find this out? What made them want to test this theory? You know, like who was the guy that swallowed a bunch of spiders and then convinced himself it cured the malaria?
They didn't have internet back in the day. They didn't have a lot going on. They're kind of bored.
You just believe the court jester when he tells you some shit.
They were just trying shit, see what happened.
An average of 152,029 people die each day worldwide, at least circa 07. A leaked work print of Rob Zombie's Halloween ends with Dr. Loomis convincing Michael to release Laurie Strode. He does, the girl escapes, and to Loomis's horror, police gun down the killer. As Loomis stands over Michael's
So what are
body in
these,
audio
just
recording.
fun facts?
They're just fun facts.
Yeah.
Oh, I do
Okay.
want to read that Phoenix one. I live in Phoenix, guys. I just want to read that one real quick.
Which one?
Scroll down. It's right below Halloween. A 49-year-old Phoenix, Arizona man attempting to exorcise demons from his 3-year-old granddaughter died after a struggle with police at the scene. Sounds like a normal toddler, dude.
Somebody's got to exorcise the demons.
All right, so let's move on. What is that? What ad? It's a Dark Horse comic ad. What is that? What was everyone's first introduction horror movie? Mine was Demons. Wow, that was your first?
The Goon Returns did.
Goon means something completely different today, guys. How times have changed.
You know, Satan, it's
tale of the-
funny.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Demons. That was the first movie I ever watched with my daughter when she was like 2.
Oh,
Wow.
I was
nice.
watching it, and she walked in. Her and her mom were out doing something, and they came home, and she walked up and sat in my lap while I was watching it, and I had that moment of, should I grab the remote and change this, or let's see what happens here? It was a real experimental moment for me. See how she would react to it. And she was just like having a blast. She was like, wow, that's gross, or, you know, ew, or, you know, so Demons was my daughter's first horror movie experience too. So
wow.
What an
That's-
introduction.
I was just like, I was having that moment as a dad, or I was like, am I a bad parent for this, or what you know?
It's
I mean,
nice you can handle
undoubtedly. No, I'm just kidding.
That's
You're probably
great.
right. But you
Okay.
know, now she's, you know, hardcore into fucking Chucky and shit. So she's a chip off the old block, as they say.
Hell yeah. So this guy, let's turn the page from this guy drowning in goon. Ooh, what the hell is that? Return of Living Dead bust? That is sick.
Oh, that is cool, man.
What is that made out of? Artistically inclined zombie fans can create can get creatively gross with these unpainted busts. Oh, you paint it yourself of the undead, sculpted by Mark Robinson and based on the William Stouts design for the Return of the Living Dead. So break out your brushes and tubes of maggot white, necrosis gray, and hemorrhage red. I thought it said hemorrhoid red. That's a bad
Same
hemorrhoid.
thing.
It's a burst hemorrhoid red. Paint the pain of being dead at monstersinmotion.com. Wow.
That's a cool bust, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. What? Go ahead and zoom in. Creature from the Blood Cove.
That's
map.
cool. That's a sweet map.
That actually looks like your head, Todd. Like your shape of your head. It would probably fit really perfectly on you.
Cool.
Like you're the dome of your head. All right. So this is a double issue, so I think we kind of have to pick up the pace on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's vote for gore. I just like that picture of Chucky. Okay, let's go ahead and the best in horror, any way you slice it, AVP.
Ooh, own them on DVD.
You got 28 Days Later. One of your favorites are Alpha.
Hell yeah. Carrie,
Carrie.
I
Wrong
think
Turn's fun too. I like Wrong Turn.
I think I own all of those except for Alien versus Predator because why would
You're a smart man. That's why.
No. All right. Let's go ahead and move on.
All right.
All this talk of AVP is doing things.
There's Afro Man.
There's Afro Man. That's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's not even of color, dude.
He's dark.
He looks like a white guy. You saw the parka and you're like Afro Man.
I just saw
Because you got high.
I just saw the big thing, yeah.
All right. Though dismissed by fans and critics alike upon its release in 1982, Carpenter's The Thing has since been widely recognized as a milestone of horror cinema. This Halloween, Rue Morgue celebrates the 25th anniversary of Carpenter's near perfect, alien invasion movie. Near? So you can't say near perfect without backing up what you think keeps
It's a 10 out of 10. I think it's damn good.
So this is where I want to spend some time. Yeah, Man is Still the Warmest Place to Hide. By John Bowen, illustrations by Les Edwards. Yeah, who was Les Edwards trying to paint up there? Is that supposed to be Brimley? Go up. Who is that Afro man? Who is that? Is that supposed to be McCready? Would he's got the beard?
No, really? No,
I don't know.
I think it's a pretty cool though, dude.
It looks cool. He's wearing those fucking Dr. Janos Poha Ghostbusters sunglasses, dude.
Yeah,
where they like have the lights.
The Atom Bomb goggles.
Not with a bang, but a whimper. So goes T.S. Eliot's take on the end of the world. Not dissimilarly, John Carpenter's version ends with a few distant muffled cries in a snowstorm, while two men huddle among the ruins of the Antarctic research station and share a bottle of cheap scotch, calmly waiting to freeze to death. In Carpenter's 1982 sci-fi horror masterpiece, The Thing, we have that rarest of rarities, a horror film that functions flawlessly or near flawlessly on multiple levels. It's a personal meditation on the beginning of the end, a symphony of spectacular gore effects and outrageous monster designs against a bleak Spartan backdrop, and a parable about the most dangerous of human frailties, paranoia. Taken in terms of formal approaches to horror cinema, The Thing is at turns subtle, combination of style and textures, seldom deployed successfully since The Exorcist, with the arguable exception of its elder sibling Alien. It's the single most effective marriage of horror and sci-fi ever filmed, supported by a superb cast and jaw-dropping sex scene. No, what does it go? Rob Bottin. Okay. Where did it continue? Did you skip a page?
You skipped a page. There you go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I'll just read this paragraph here. Animatronic and makeup effects of the pre-CGI era, courtesy of the then 21-year-old virtuoso Rob Bottin.
Oh, okay.
So he's even younger.
Christ. Wow.
Wow. Dude, what were you guys doing at 21?
In the
Legit.
bars?
I was washing dishes.
No.
God dang.
I don't even know what the hell I was doing at 21.
No, I wasn't washing dishes at 21. I'm selling.
I was drinking. I was drinking legally.
Crack.
I was washing dishes at 16, but I was probably cooking. Let's see. Taking its basic structure from the 51 Christian Nyby Howard Hawks classic, The Thing from Another World, and John W. Campbell's novella, Who Goes There? Carpenter's remake has the crew of the Antarctic Research Station, led by helicopter pilot R.J. McCready, Kurt Russell, terrorized by a very unfriendly super alien that could absorb and imitate any life form from unfortunate enough to cross its path. The aforementioned structure, however, is where the similarities end. The film was a product. The old film was a product of the post-World War II American militarism and Red Menace hysteria, while 30 years later, Carpenter would mine a much more personal strain of paranoia and cynicism, symptomatic of the Reagan era. Okay, so I'm looking forward to getting to these interviews like Kurt Russell and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and
let's see where this starts.
well, let's see. Roger Ebert praised Bottin's effects, and he ultimately wrote The Thing off as just a geek show, a gross out movie in which teenagers can dare one another to watch the screen. Dude, sometimes I didn't even like, was he even watching movies? Like, was he like, what was he do? We didn't have cell phones there to be distracted. Like sometimes like this guy got paid to critique movies and really crack them open. Why would he watch The Thing and think it's just a geek show, gross out movies? There's no teenagers. Oh, teenagers can dare one another to watch the screen. It's not even that. Like, it's just
he really has some weird takes, I believe.
Yeah, I think with critics sometimes they see so much and they watch so much that it sometimes shit just goes by and they don't really catch on because they're just trying to get to the next thing. So that's why I've always thought, like, when you see like a professional critic or something like that, it's like, how much can you really take into effect their perspective, because they're watching fucking everything, so it's just like in one ear out the other at all times.
And it's really their mindset going into it, like their mood of that day, you know, how they were feeling. If somebody called them an asshole before they went to the event,
and it's just taste, man. It's like certain critics are just not gonna like certain movies no matter how good or bad they are. It's just they're going in, like you said, with that mindset of just like, oh, this is just, you know, whatever. I'm stuck. I gotta watch this fucking movie, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And still drinking at 49. I'm drinking now. Shit. Let's go ahead and move on a little bit. I think Kurt Russell's up next. He's page 20.
Satan.
Yes.
All right. Let's see here. Rob Bottin came up with the key to the whole movie. He said, it can look like anything. It looks like anything it's ever imitated, any place in the universe. So we can just go wild. John Carpenter.
I mean, that's freaking. I mean, look at that photo. That's an awesome.
How do you get that good at 21?
I don't know, man.
Like, what are you? I want to know. Like, I want his autobiography. Like, when did he start? Was he just like a total savant and he like got this good in a couple of years and he's found a real knack?
So, Alpha, Tom Savini or Rob Bottin?
Bottin.
I'd say I go with Savini. I think his range was. I mean, he invented a lot of stuff that, you know, but I mean, he reached out to Bottin for advice when he was doing Day of the Dead. So it really just depends on taste. I for me personally, I love The Thing, but there's certain aspects of The Thing, like the effects in The Thing now, that when you see it in 4K, it's kind of like, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it. But I mean, one thing I do love about Rob Bottin that is maybe minuscule in his overall work, his squibs. He had the best squibs. Like, if you watch like Total Recall or RoboCop or something like that, when people get shot, they get fucking shot.
Oh yeah,
like, famous Ed blowing him away in RoboCop is
man.
The human shield squibs are Total Recall. Oh my god.
Yeah, Bottin squibs are like
the human shield,
the best. So, and it's one of those. It's like, you know, you're watching a Rob Bottin film, even if you don't know you're watching a Rob Bottin film. As soon as somebody gets shot, because his squibs look so
dramatic. They're so
they look so good. Yeah. But you know, for me personally, I mean, as a Romero guy, I love, you know, Savini's, you know, enthusiasm and creativity. But yeah, I mean, The Thing, I mean, you can't argue. I mean, just the creativity of it alone is, you know, insane.
I figured I'd ask.
This has got to be our interview. But it said Kurt Russell would be page 20, so we'll just kind of like skim this interview here. Your version of The Thing, this is obviously Carpenter. Your version of The Thing is much closer to John Campbell's story, Who Goes There, than the Howard Hawks Christian Nyby film. What can you tell me about the work that you and screenwriter Bill Lancaster did with the story beforehand?
That's my uncle.
When we started, I'm going to talk like John Carpenter. It'll take us forever. We had the original film to look at. No, it was very much at its time, 1950, 51. It was that whole feel of America after World War II, the military, the whole idea of the Soviet threat. I mean, there's one line in it about the Soviets being all over the place. That's the kind of context for it. We also had in those days in 47, the famous incident where Terrence Arnold sees these flying discs. And then you had supposedly the Roswell incident. Anyway, flying saucers had come into the national consciousness. That was in the 50s. And here we were in 1981. That's not going to work. I've always liked the original Who Goes There, always liked the structure of it. So I gave it to a number of very good writers who came up with a take on it. And Bill had a real interesting take. Basically, what you see on the screen now. What interested me the most about the screenplay was the blood test scene, which I thought would give me an opportunity to do something kind of fun. It's great tension. That blood test.
Oh, I love it.
It's one of the best scenes in horror.
Yeah.
Just the suspense and, you think you know who it is. It turns out it's not. And then somebody that you're not even thinking of. So you're not prepared for it when it happens. It's so well done. So well paced.
It's the equivalent of when they would get that guy to go on Howard Stern with the lie detector test. And it's like, you don't know who they're going to strap to that lie detector test. You don't know what they're going to ask you, but it's probably going to be some fucking shit. And it's like, it's Ed
Torian.
Ed Torian. Have you ever thought about a man that way? Yeah, Ed Torian.
Have you ever thought about fucking Howard Stern?
I love Ed Torian, dude. He's great. Richard, please answer the question. It's a really, really effective scene, man. Are you at liberty to drop any of the names of those screenwriters? Let's not do that. They're all very well known. One screenwriter wanted to make it a positive alien movie. The fuck? Like Starman? We already did that.
Well, it came out the same year that E.T. came out, so that probably.
But he literally did Starman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what year was Starman? Starman was before this, right?
Starman was after
a year after. Like it wasn't.
Carpenter went on to do Starman after The Thing because The Thing was such a big flop at the box
office.
Oh,
that's right.
Carpenter was kind of,
let's do a family picture, director for hire.
84 was Starman.
84. Yeah. I like Starman. I think it's a fun movie.
I do too.
And that opening sequence of him like turning into the fucking Jeff Bridges is kind of out of a monster movie. It's a kind of a family movie. So that wouldn't have worked, would it? He's very, very renowned. And he said, the creature is all about symbiosis, which is a part of love. And as a person who's had trouble with symbiosis all his life, it kind of made my skin crawl, but we didn't go that way. You've spoken many times of the impact that Jack Arnold's It Came From Outer Space had on you as a child, how it made you conscious of movie magic. Given the subject matter of The Thing, do you think you maybe channeled that childhood experience into it, perhaps more than you had in your previous films? The Thing had less to do with old movies. It wasn't homage to It Came From Outer Space or the fact that there was a xenomorph in that movie. It was a vicious little horror monster movie. That's what I wanted to make. In contrast to the original version, there are no women in your film, which ostensibly eliminates issues of sexual tension. We don't know that. They should have got Ed Torian in there to had him take some lie detector tests. Have you thought about mounting a few of these guys? It's like,
have you ever thought sexually about Wilford Brimley?
I mean, did you want to take a mustache ride on Brimley? That mustache. Let's see.
You're being deceptive.
Why did you? Why? Okay. Why did you go that route? I've always wondered about believability. We kind of did some research on the stations in Antarctica. There were women working there, but I thought that it would be more interesting if the female presence was the creature, with all these men not willing to be taken over by it. But don't tell anybody that. It's a secret. LOL. Your previous horror films, Halloween and The Fog, weren't heavily dependent upon special effects or outrageous creature designs, and yet whenever I watch The Thing, I get the distinct impression that you were pretty comfortable stepping into that realm. I was very comfortable doing it. In The Thing, in the things I had done before, the most overt monsters were all kind of kept in shadows, and they were understated. And that's kind of a movie maker's cliche that you never show anything, never show the devil. And I think that's just bullshit. So I just decided, hey, let's put this baby out in the open. And then Rob Bottin came up with the key to the whole movie. He said, it can look like anything. It can look like anything it's ever imitated, any place in the universe. So we can just go wild. Interesting. It works. Usually I'm the opposite. Usually it's like, I want to see less. Usually that's So I think it's actually maybe a testament that he did show, not tell, and he did it well. I mean, it's just so easy for that to be a cop
Well,
out.
yeah, the
And
majority of the time they don't do it well, but he nailed it.
one version of the script that I've read differs significantly from the film, especially during the second act. For instance, there's a protracted snowmobile chase across the ice a great distance from the station. Yeah, that's true. We did take that out because money, LOL. That was a difficult scene. Looking at that, it was, oh, how are we going to do this? Not only were we going to do it, but does it really get across what we need here? One thing that fascinates me is the overwhelmingly negative press the film initially received, especially in contrast to the way it's revered today. Ah, yeah, it's so funny. How shocked were you at the time? Oh, it was big time. Everybody was against it, and a lot of the fans at the time turned against it. The science fiction and horror fans. So I thought, well, serves me right for riding on that train. Man, you guys got him pitying himself.
God, why did the sci-fi fans back in the day not appreciate this? I don't get it.
I just think The Thing came out at a time where people were not. That's not what people wanted at the time. Like people wanted
The ET. They wanted family movies, right?
Yeah,
But
if you
Alien
were
was a huge-
if you're gonna do Aliens, they wanted a ET. If you're gonna do horror, they wanted Friday the 13th.
They wanted
in
slashers.
82.
Okay,
But
yeah.
did that much change in 2 years from Alien in 79? Maybe it did.
Sure, yeah. I mean, as soon as Friday the 13th came out, that's all people wanted. They wanted
That's true.
they wanted slashers.
Junk food.
Yeah.
Junk
And, I
food
mean,
movies.
And yeah.
it's like you know, it's like the story of The Shining opening the same weekend as Friday the 13th and getting completely demolished by Friday the 13th at the box office. It's like people found that and they were like, "Oh, this is the new thing." And so this is where we're going to go. And then looking back at it retrospectively years later, we all see The Shining for what it is. We all see The Thing for what it is. Even, Day of the Dead, in 85, people weren't ready for a bleak, dark fucking zombie movie. They wanted Return of the Living Dead. They wanted, it's time to party. They wanted to party,
with
they
the
wanted
Linnea
comedy.
Quigley walking around fucking butt naked the whole
Right,
movie.
yeah.
It's like, this has no women in it. It's literally the antithesis. There's no sex appeal. I mean,
There's no
I don't want to assume. Maybe for you guys there is, but there's no sex appeal. Like literally, they're in parkas. You don't even get to see skin on the guys. It's like it's the most covered up and non. Yeah, I mean,
there's no
interesting.
love story. There's no. Yeah, it's not one you would take your date to on a first date. Like, let's go see The Thing, honey.
They did love the bottle, but that was pretty much it, right?
There you go. Wilford Brimley loved the diabetes. Much of I don't think he ever loved it. That's not nice.
No.
Much of the film's disastrous reception was reported that I've grown kind of attached to it. Well, he became synonymous with the diabetes.
Wasn't there an interview at some point? I don't know. I don't forget where it was, but somebody interviewed Wilford Brimley and asked him, like, one of the questions was like, "What was your favorite candy?" or something like that. And it was just
gosh.
Oh, were those?
This is where, dude, like, okay, honestly, how many people know him as that guy from fucking Cocoon or whatever, and how many people know him as the diabetes guy? It's the diabetes guy. It completely took over his
my generation. He's diabetes guy. Yeah.
Much of the film's disastrous reception was reportedly due to its graphic violence. But don't you think that deep down, just as much as that knee-jerk reaction was due to the film's overwhelming cynicism, the way it went against the whole "don't worry, be happy" facade of the Reagan era, the ET era? That's it. You've got it exactly right. They used the graphic violence, the monster, to be disgusted by the nihilism of it, the bleakness of it. I remember seeing Cinema Fantastique magazine at the time, a very glossy, that was a really cool storyboard.
Oh shit, was that?
You got to go to the next page. It's okay. Oh yeah, I got to read that.
I think that's right.
Oh yeah, I got to go.
Page 22.
But those are sick though, dude.
Yeah, dude, those are really good drawings.
Some people just like do stick figures.
Dog's awesome. Oh, that's a really cool one. Yeah,
it looks like it's cock. Okay, let's move on. All right, thawing out with R.J. McCready. Okay, that's a headline. Okay, let's zoom in on this.
Oh, so this is the Kurt Russell interview.
So it probably skips ahead. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. Let's just go. Let's read the Kurt Russell.
Okay.
And I love how Kurt Russell has never really cast Carpenter by the wayside. I mean, he was still he did Escape from LA with Carpenter in 97 or 90, whatever year that was. And
Well, have you listened to any of the commentary tracks that Carpenter and Russell did for like those are always great because it just feels like you're listening to two best friends watching a movie and just taking the piss out of it.
and the fact that him and Queef David both inducted him, like the Hollywood Walk.
Yeah.
You saw that, and like, yeah, I mean, you could just guess who wasn't there. I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis was there. I don't think
she wasn't there.
She didn't show up. She was filming Freaky Friday too. So, and you could just tell, Kurt Russell's not one of those guys where he's not ashamed of horror because that's not where he started. Like Carpenter turned him from a Disney kid.
Kurt Russell seems like such a genuine guy, like a guy you'd want to hang out with.
Kurt Russell was a Disney contract player. He grew up in old, like 60s movies as a kid. And so he's the guy that, gave him his Robin Pattinson fucking chance. Like, let's get rid of that Twilight shit on you and let's get people to take you seriously. And, he put him in stuff like Escape. He put him in Elvis first and then Escape from New York, et cetera, et cetera. And
then you see him in Overboard and he's like the everyman. It's like, he seems like,
Kurt Russell has a habit of playing reluctant tough guy heroes, due in no small part to John Carpenter's enduring faith in the actor's abilities. When the director cast him as Snake Plissken, the extraordinarily sexy badass anti-hero us female cinenerds live for, in Escape from New York, a cult icon was born, and Carpenter didn't hesitate to call upon him once more for the role of R.J. McCready in The Thing, a character that was less a bad boy but still an accidental hero who just wanted to go up to his shack and get drunk until things started to get weird around the station. By the way, okay, this is a female, Jovanka Vukovnik. Yeah.
Are you sure it's a female?
Yeah, she said us female senators.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Back then you could assume the genders. As I'm just saying, so we know it's a female.
You're right. This is just I'm thinking in 2026. Never mind.
All right. So as McCready puts it early in the movie, somebody in this camp ain't what he appears to be. He's then forced to take action when his clothes are discovered torn up, leaving the rest of the crew suspicious that he might be the Thing. He's convinced he's not, of course, and it contrives the now famous test that involves introducing a hot copper wire to the blood of each member, a setup for the memorable scene in which Palmer, David Clennon, transforms and attacks Windows, Thomas G. Waits, forcing the alien to reveal itself. In the aftermath, someone's got to take charge, and Flyboy steps up, being the sanest remaining member of the crew, or is he? The question about who's who and who's trustworthy is fundamental to the story. Confusion and paranoia drive the film to a wonderfully downbeat ending that's hard to trump even a quarter century later. Having come up with the last line of the film himself, why don't we just wait here for a little while, see what happens? By the way, the greatest ending of all time. And that's the kind of ending like someone like my mom would hate. We would watch movies like that and be like, that's it. My mom would say that shit. That's it. I fucking spent 2 hours on the that's it. And me, I'm like, I love. You
have no idea how like true to life that is for like most people that I know in my family too.
Well,
I mean,
it's the casual audience or whatever, and the ending is the toughest thing to land. I get it.
That's it.
But dude, that ending is so awesome. It says everything, and with saying nothing. And you don't need to be shown everything. And like some people just want a definitive answer.
That's what everybody says about Dawn of the Dead too, right, Alpha?
That's it! Yeah, exactly. Anyway, if you guys are listening on headphones, I apologize. Hold on. Russell maintains to this day that neither McCready nor Childs, Keith David, page 23, knew what the other was, nor what the fate of the world would be once they were pried from the ice and thawed out. Rue Morgue warms up with Kurt Russell on a hot summer day to discuss the possibilities, among other things. I love it. He's still talking about this movie in 2007. Which of the films you've worked on with Carpenter is your favorite? The Thing is my absolute favorite. Of all the things he's done and done extremely well, I think The Thing stands out. I had a great time making it. He's just a blast to work with. He was very instrumental at that time in my career when he cast me. Todd, naughty. Is that me? Oh, I got to pop up. I thought it was you. I'm sorry. I apologize. He was a blast to work with in Escape from New York, but I think that he's done some what people have now noticed, very innovative movies that change things, especially with Escape from New York, The Thing, and Big Trouble in Little China. I'm a stand for all those. I'm a stand for Escape from New York. Todd doesn't care for it. I acknowledge it's an action movie
Really?
with no action.
Yeah,
It's an action movie with no action.
it is.
It's the most bizarre thing, but it just oozes
It
with
is
too
kinda
much
true,
style.
yeah.
But it's too cool, man. I get it, but
The
I don't.
style's cool, but yeah, it's just boring.
How'd you score the job in The Thing? Did Carpenter have you in mind? Nope. I was talking to John when he was preparing that movie about who might be right to play the role of McCready, and we were throwing names around. It was not going to be me. And then I don't think anyone really worked out, or perhaps he didn't find the person he wanted. And finally, he said to me, "Would you want to play him?" And I said, "Well, sure." That's it in a nutshell. John told us that you were responsible for the iconic last line of the movie. How did that come about? John and I were talking about the last scene, and I'm glad at least this one probably wraps up here.
Well,
Yep. Oh, is it?
oh,
Yes.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And he wasn't necessarily thrilled about the idea of spending 2 hours to come back around to where you began, really. That's it. Now, he's like, he didn't want it to, but he still pissed everybody off. He pissed all the rednecks off. Yeah. But as we talked it out, we realized that was the story. There was really no way around that. And we just fooled around with that last scene. It was one of those scenes that sort of boiled down to the last line. And it seemed to me that what was a generic to the theme of the movie was, what was the line? Why don't we just wait here for a little while, see what happens? Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't remember it. That's it. I thought the idea of the thing was terrific, which was nobody really knew the situation, so we weren't even sure if it was us. In your opinion, was McCready the thing? I think that the truth of the story is that by that point in the movie, things were so confused in the minds of the people that it was happening to, that the last line just speaks for itself. I always wondered what would happen just as you were going out. What would you do? Because you didn't want to freeze to death. And if you froze to death, the thing is still alive. It's alive in one of you. What did you think of the overwhelming negative response to the movie upon its initial release? What was seen was the monster. What was not seen until later and continues to be seen is the terrific story about paranoia. It's a story about who goes there, and the people don't know. You've been with these people in the environment. You know them very well, or at least you think you do. And pretty soon something like this comes along and your belief system begins to unravel to the point where you're not even sure yourself. And I think that's what's terrific about The Thing. John and Rob Bottin created the most horrific monster that anyone's ever seen, able to mimic all the beings from all the planets it's ever been to before. And we knew what audience would say at the time. You got to remember, this was the year of E.T., so that was that alien, and this was our alien. Very cool. Along with the malevolent alien and the downbeat ending, we also discussed with John the idea that the whole "don't worry, be happy" Reagan era might have had something to do with it. Would you agree? You blame the failure of The Thing at the time on Reagan. Wait. So he thinks that's kind of silly.
You're mimicking his laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Goldie, give me some iced tea. These guys. It was too easy to blame Reagan for everything. Come on. Fair enough.
That's what it was in the 80s. You
Fair
gotta blame
enough.
Reagan.
Given that the film was a box office disaster, did you expect it to become such a cult classic? Yes, I did, because a good film gets found. I mean, Escape from New York was a success, but it wasn't a monstrous hit of any kind. The Thing was a flop. Big Trouble in Little China was a flop. You couldn't find the movie 3 days after it was out. By the way, isn't that funny?
That's crazy,
he
man.
kept making movies with them, and they kept flopping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't you think they would have somebody would have been like, okay, Kurt, you got to stop.
Kurt Russell, man, he's such a great actor too.
You got to stop pairing up with this hippie, because he's he's not giving you good films.
Well, he's making all these weird movies that it's hard to market. I mean, Big Trouble in Little China is kind of a hard movie to market. It's like, what audience are you targeting for that movie?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good movie, but it's not a horror movie. It's not a. There's like magic elements to it, but it's a weird fucking movie.
I get why he wanted to keep working with them despite the bombs, because he was going through that. Robin Pattinson, put me in Good Time. I want to be in all these fucking movies that shake. I want to be experimental. I want to test. I want to grow up and test my. But I'm just surprised, his agents and people at the time were like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing? You got to stop this."
Which it works for Robert Pattinson, because I think he's great now. He's putting out a lot of good movies.
Yeah, his face still looks like a foot, but decent movies.
Looks better than mine.
Well, Snake Plissken and RJ McCready are pretty fucking cool. Thanks. I love John for many reasons. I love John for many reasons, but I love the fact that he does what he wants and he didn't ever hesitate to call me back. We got to work together again on Escape from LA, which I just had a great time doing. I have always admired him for sticking to his guns and making the movie he wants to make. Yeah, I mean, I think they respect each other as true like artists, you know. And I actually I'm
very friendly. Yeah, they were very friendly. Like they were good friends. And you get that vibe. Like I said, listening to those commentaries for those movies.
I'm a bit of an apologist for Escape from LA too. I get it. You guys throw all the stones you want. I get it. I've heard it all.
I'd rather watch that than Escape from New York.
Look, you can wince all you want, Alpha Todd. You can make your jokes.
Fucking out of your mind.
But look, we got Peter Fonda surfing along the turnpike behind like a green screen. It's the most fucking bizarre thing you've ever seen. And you can't believe anybody gave anybody any kind of money to make it. And the fact that Kurt Russell read the script and was like, let's do it, blows me away. I think it's awesome. I think it's just like a bunch of guys having fun, for better or worse, you know. We're gonna put Pam Grier in it and give her a man voice because she used to have a thingy. Awesome. Everything about it is just so bizarre for the time. And a cool
bizarre
soundtrack.
For the time. That's a way to put it. Yeah.
Not so bizarre today. Yeah. Oh, Kevin, are we talking about One Cut of the Dead? Yeah. Please check out One Cut of the Dead. It's going to seem weird the first 30 minutes, but stick with it. I've heard great things about it.
I've never seen it. Yeah. I gotta check that out. I've heard good things though.
I haven't seen it either.
Hey, what's up, Robert? You're not late. You know what? You're just in time. The second you're here, you're on.
Yeah,
time.
Robert's here. The party can start.
That's right. I think everybody's already halfway drunk though. You got to catch up.
Yep. Start pounding.
I'm getting there.
You better come out and pound me.
I've been working on this left-handed peanut butter.
Left hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all about the left hand.
So, okay. All right.
It's like somebody. It's like a completely different person, right, Todd?
Yeah.
You sit on it. You sit on that and get it numb.
Moving on.
Right. Yeah. You know.
All right. What do you
We're all on
think?
the same page here.
You know, McCready and the boys were doing that out in the fucking cold, lonely.
Oh, I'm sure.
Come on, dude. What do you think makes?
J&B, yeah.
I know. What do you think makes the thing such a significant achievement for Carpenter? I thought one of the most difficult things a director could have dealt with would be what he had to deal with in that movie. He had 12 men with their faces covered 80% of the time. And to be able to establish the characters as well as he did as to who's who so that the audience could know and follow it, that's a huge achievement for John. That was really difficult. You noted 12 men, which reminds me of the fact that there are no women in the thing. You don't see that too much in horror films. There were not only no women in the film, there were no women on the crew. To begin with, I think there were just a couple of women on the crew. The primary one was our script gal, and she was pregnant. What does that have to do with anything, Kurt? No. The environment was really bad with all the smoke and fire. Okay, there it is. For bad chemicals and fire and whatnot, we kind of all agreed that this was no place for a pregnant woman. So she correctly and rightfully decided she wasn't the best thing for her forthcoming child. But you're right. You don't see very many movies with that, just men in them. It was unique in that.
It's interesting. I never realized there were 12 men in the thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I was brainstorming an idea for a video about good double features for Day of the Dead, because Day of the Dead is 12 men or 11 men and one woman, 12 people in the fucking mine, because like then there were 12. And I was thinking like, man, the thing would be good because they're very similar in so many ways. And they're all, and now thinking about it, they're all very reminiscent of 12 Angry Men, the Sidney Lumet film.
Yeah, good film.
And it's just like, wow. And that's 12 men in a small room arguing over something. And it's kind of the same thing. Wow.
It's definitely the Day of the Dead vibe. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. All three of those.
That was the story. There was no women there. And John, like I said before, makes the movies he wants to make and didn't feel pressured to have a love interest or whatever. He stuck to the story. And this is before they had fleshlights. They just literally weren't into it, What were these guys doing out there in the cold? How long were they supposed to be there again? You guys remember in the thing?
Long. I don't think they were supposed to be there very long.
What's your stance on this remake prequel stuff that's circling the net? Hold on. When did the prequel come out? It was right around. It was close to this, right? Within a couple years. You guys remember the prequel?
Was looking it up right now.
08, 09. When was that?
It was around this time when it was
2011?
2011.
2011.
Oh, okay. A few more years. Yeah. So, what is your thoughts on the remake prequel? I don't really feel one way or the other. I mean, we did a remake of a Howard Hawks movie, but John wanted to do a very different movie. He wanted to do the original story, Who Goes There? And I thought that was a great idea because it was a really good short story. I don't know anything about this new remake. Hopefully they'll make a good one. I would have liked to. I wonder if I could meet Kurt Russell, I would ask him, did you ever watch it? And if he probably would say no. And then I would be like, could you, I would want him to watch it. I want his opinion on it. Snake Plissken versus RJ McCready. Who'd win the fight? There's nobody that will ever win a fight against Snake Plissken. My man.
Plissken, yeah. Snake Plissken beat Ox Baker. With the fucking
Dude, Snake
cord in the
Plissken,
back of the head.
Snake Plissken, even though he's fighting for his freedom, he's really a man with nothing to lose. He don't care.
And talk about great endings, man. Escape from New York as he's walking away with that fucking tape and just pulling out the tape.
Great.
Just how awesome is that fucking ending?
It's a great movie. I got to rewatch that. It's been a couple years. What's up, Burton Pierre 417? Yeah, 2011 was the year. Thank you for joining the chat. I like the prequel. No, it's not on par with 82, but what is? I think the prequel has its merits. I think
it's been a while. I need to go back to it.
I appreciated that instead of remaking it, I'd rather them do what they did. And it's fine. It could have been like a total train wreck. And at the time, 11, dude, remakes were everywhere. This was remake apocalypse. Yeah, so the fact that they did a prequel that tied in at the end with a dog, it ended where the original thing began. It was a little fresh at the time because we were just getting non-stop remakes. So at least somebody's not completely shitting on the original movie. It is what it is. I have that Blu-ray.
I never watched it.
You never did?
No, I was like, I have no interest. Like, the thing is fine. I don't need to know what happened before the thing. It's like, gives a shit. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm done. Like, I'm good with just the thing, Have you guys ever seen the original?
No, I've still never watched it.
I have never seen that one either.
Yeah.
What's this about? Burton, what's the word on the new Thing movie? I heard about it a few years ago. There's a new Thing movie.
Oh, I didn't know that. Let me look that up.
I never heard anything about that. I kind of hope there isn't. Is this a new page, Todd, or is this what I just finished?
Yeah, I think this goes back to Carpenter.
And we're gonna get on to Keith in the next page. Cool. Something about a magazine, and on the cover it said, "Is this the most hated movie of all time?" And that's magazine had done a profile on me a few years earlier after Halloween. Oh, this is Carpenter. We're back to Carpenter.
We went back to Carpenter. Yeah.
So we finished Kurt Russell completely.
Yeah. I think the final thing for Carpenter was like who'd win.
The Plissken. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, question. This might be an answer. This might be a question more for Kevin. I know he's not he's not the editor, but I understand why they make you finish an article. Like, okay, the rest of this article is on page 60. It probably keeps you engaged, breaking it up or whatever. They even in a pre-TikTok era, they didn't want to numb people too much. But we're still talking about the thing. It's kind of weird to have part of the Carpenter interview, then interrupt it for the the Kurt Russell, and then just go back to Carpenter. That's kind of a weird thing.
But it's funny because we were saying the same thing when we did Fango Friday, because they did that back in the 70s for Fango. Which I
know, but it made sense back then. I get it, because it'd be like, okay, the Tom Savini, they do that in the newspaper. The article continues on this page, the Tom Savini, but we're still talking about the thing. It's all one big thing.
It's the same. Okay, yeah.
And then it's like John Carpenter, cut it off. Let's go straight to Kurt Russell, then back to Carpenter. That just feels a little interesting to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, what does he say here? The Thing is one of the earliest examples of a film that bombed in theaters, but subsequently became quite successful on home video, and now, of course, ranks among your most popular work. Have any of the critics who slagged it back in the day retracted what they said, or at least backpedaled it a little bit? This is funny because, Carpenter has normally given answers since then of like, where the fuck were they then? I didn't make any money. It's like, great. Yeah. They love it now. Fantastic. I'm not making any of that back end. Not really. There was a screening in LA a few years ago, and they had a little blurb in the LA Times where they sort of said, well, it wasn't as bad as everyone said. LOL. Backhanded, but it was there. Who
That's
Who was saying
brutal,
that? Who was
dude.
saying that even in like the early 2000s?
That's
Nobody.
crazy, man.
Nobody was saying that. Like, it blows me away that there's people that don't like The Shining.
Yeah, I know.
There's people that absolutely shit on The Shining, and I just can't. I get it. People have
Stephen
opinions.
King.
Well,
That's
yeah, I
one
mean,
person that still shuts on the
Yeah.
Shining.
because he got upstaged on his
I
own,
know. He got kicked off the
That's
set. Right?
exactly what it is. Yeah.
But like, there's a few movies out there that you just think they would just be so unanimous. It's like, I get it, you have an opinion, but come on. It's like
Well-
the Beatles, man. Even if Beatles aren't your thing, you acknowledge that the Beatles wrote some catchy songs. You get it. You
Even-
kind of get it.
The fact that I saw this back in the 90s, I saw The Shining back in the 90s because I was, younger. The first time I saw them, I thought I was blown away. Like the fact, if I saw these in theaters,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'd feel the same way, but I don't see how people like shit on it. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
And I don't know if it's just like people that are like unfairly crapping on The Shining because they're King stands. I don't really know what it is, and I don't understand The Thing, man. Did all of the negativity ever impact your own feelings about the film? It's like, no, but it fucking fucked my career up real good. That's what I expect him to say. No, I stood by it
Sounds
when
like John Carpenter's response. Yeah.
yeah, I stood by it when it was released, but it did make me question myself. I mean, it's not the kind of thing you jump for joy over. And if that movie had been more successful, I think my career would have been a little bit different. But I think The Thing is maybe my best film. Well, that's great that it's not tainted. Like, you still know a good film. Like, it's funny because, like, if I made a film and I was super proud of it and I thought it was awesome and everybody hated it, I'd probably doubt myself. Like, oh God, dude, what the fuck do I even know? What do I fucking know? It's the fact that he can look at it and be like, it was my best film. And Kurt Russell can be like, it's his best film.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, these guys don't fucking know anything.
But think about just years later, at the time, The Thing was a big failure for John Carpenter.
It was a big swing, and that's what hurts more is just because they gave him a budget. It was a studio type of deal. It's like, oh, and you failed us, boy.
Yeah, and he went on. He did Christine, which he was never really super proud of because he felt like it was just a job for hire. Same thing with Starman. But then years later, think about just the vindication that he got years later when people started coming around on The Thing and was like, dude, that's your best thing. He's like, yeah, that's what I always kind of thought. But, at the time, it didn't quite work out.
Which it's crazy to me. People didn't like Christine either. I love Christine, man.
Awesome.
Great film.
Yeah, Christine's great. Yeah, but Carpenter himself he's not a big fan of Christine even to this day. He's just kind of like, yeah, it's just this thing I did, job for hire type of thing.
But I can understand that too. If he's a guy that was used to like really owning his projects and you do one of those things where it's like, I'm just the director on this one. Yeah. He's probably not, I get it, he's not as close to it.
Well, was Christine kind of the first film like that for John Carpenter where it was just kind of a job for hire? Because
Elvis. Elvis was a job. It's a TV movie for hire. He didn't.
Yeah, but I always kind of, just in interviews and stuff, I always kind of felt like John was pretty high on his work on Elvis. Like, I always felt like he was pretty proud of that. Yeah. Or maybe it was a work for hire. But
it was the first. Well, he was also of the era. Covering Elvis was a big deal. He'd only been dead. He'd only been dead a few years at that point. So, this was the first biopic. This is the first big thing Elvis ever got. So it's pretty. But yeah, so maybe that's not really fair. But
yeah, I think Christine was kind of the one that after The Thing failed, it was the job that he had to take if he wanted to stay in the business type of thing. And I think he always kind of resented it for that reason. Just my interpretation.
John first says Jaws is over. Okay, wait, sorry. I think it's Robert started this Jaws hate.
Everybody's shitting on Jaws.
Hey, I'm with them. I'm with the Robert. I'm with
shitting on it, but I kind of like Robert's take. Hot take. I like it, but it's overrated. I will say that it just never resonated with me like it did the people that saw it when it came out. Maybe it would have messed me up if I was a kid and I saw Jaws. I totally get how people were like, oh, it made you afraid to go in the water as a kid. I totally get it. But yeah,
I'll say this. I've never been a huge Jaws fan. I was kind of the same mindset. I always kind of felt like it's fine, but it's not, the greatest thing ever. I don't get the hype until I saw it in the theater with my fiance, and she had never seen it. And I've taken her to see quite a few times. We went to see The Thing in the theater when it had a re-release a few years ago, and she that was one of the few horror films that she loved. Like she was, we saw it twice in the theater because she was just like, wow, that was actually really good. But we saw all kinds of stuff. We went to see Jaws, and she jumped the scene where the
sharks.
No, when the dude's scuba diving and the head pops out in the hole in the bottom of the boat. I've never seen someone jump out of their seat. And and she's not a person that really likes horror movies or really likes movies in general. She just kind of watches them and she's just kind of like, ah, okay. And I'm like, oh, you got to see this movie. It's great. And she's just like, yeah, it's fine. But Jaws, to her, like, after we left that theater, she was like, that was the scariest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, wow, okay. And like, now I kind of get it. Like, I kind of get the hype. Like, it never worked on me, but for somebody like her who wasn't super steeped into horror and stuff like that, like, scared the absolute shit out of her. Like, she was just like, yeah, like, that's stuck. So
grounded in realism, it's like the sharks exist, man, and people are. I have no desire to go deep into the ocean. I don't think we belong there. It's like, yeah, there's, you know what I mean? Like, so I get it. I 100% get it.
I live in the Midwest, so I didn't grow up in the water, so it really didn't.
Yeah, I'm not a beach guy either. So
no,
I think the problem is our age group. So when I was young, Jaws was already out when I was a kid. I grew up and Jaws existed. It was like the quintessential shark movie, and I was getting into like stuff that wasn't as slow, and I was getting into like I was into Chucky and Freddy. That was kind of what I cut my teeth on. And you have like your parents and stuff saying things like how much it wrecked them and how bad, and then you finally watch it and it's, you know what I mean, it just wasn't what I was used to at the time I saw it.
I had that same exact experience with The Exorcist when I first saw it. Like my parents were like, oh my God, this is the scariest movie ever made. Like I remember being a kid and we were watching, because it was around that time when The Exorcist had that re-release in like 98, 99, something like that. And I remember we were watching it and my parents were just like, oh, this is the scariest movie ever, Michael. Are you sure you want to watch this? Because I was already watching, Tales from the Dark Side and Freddy and Jason. Like I was already kind of getting into horror. But they were like specifically like, I don't know if you should watch this. This is the scariest movie ever made. So when I was a kid watching it, like it didn't resonate. I was just like, really? Like this? No, like it didn't do anything for me. I was just like, this is kind of boring. Like it's just this girl pissing on the carpet and like I don't know. But years later, like I've really kind of appreciated The Exorcist for what it is, as opposed to when I was a kid and it just wasn't what it was hyped up to be with my parents. My parents, it was,
I'm 100% right there with you, Alpha. Absolutely. You took the words out of my mouth.
When I was like little, so I'm talking when I saw Jaws, I was like real little. Like, and like I said, I was watching Chucky's and Freddy. I was like 5, and I'm like, Jaws ain't doing it for me. Like I was in the Midwest too, and I'm like, we didn't have no oceans around me. I had not, I wasn't gonna like Jaws wasn't gonna get me at the community pool or whatever, and or my sprinklers I used to run through. That's what I used to do. That's what we'd run through the sprinklers and jump through. And anyway, but I think when I was like 8 or 9, I saw the Amityville Horror and I loved it. And that was one of those movies my mom's like, oh, it's so scary. And I loved it. So I was conditioned not that long after for like the slow burn. So when I saw Exorcist a couple years after that, I loved The Exorcist. So it is what, and I love The Shining. I think I saw The Shining when I was like in the 6th grade. Loved it. Scared the holy hell out of me, man. Yeah, but people in their Jaws, man. You guys are pretty in the chat. It seems to be a thing. Satan.
People in their Jaws.
Yes, Exorcist was considered from the devil. I lived during the Satanic Panic. It is where you were born, my son.
It's funny you say that, Satan, because I just watched a documentary on Satanic Panic. It was on Tubi or something. Came out like 5 years ago. It was actually really interesting. Like the Satanic Panic started because these two grifters like wrote a book about like a girl like getting abducted by some sort of like satanic cult, and they did all this like weird shit to her, and then they wrote a book about it, and they ended up like traveling the country and selling it to like a lot of these publications and doing interviews, and they started the whole Satanic Panic movement, which is crazy. So I'll shoot you. Hey, hit me up on some
Discord or
sort
something.
of Discord, and I'll shoot you the name of this documentary because it was really good.
Oh, let's see here. Do you think it aged well? Going back to Carpenter. Oh yeah, I think it's really interesting to watch now and a lot of fun to watch. It still has a lot of power. Well, here we are running a cover story on it 25 years later. Yeah, it's really nice. I remember my editor, Todd Ramsey, at one point when we were sitting around lamenting something, he said, on this movie, you have to embrace the darkness because you can't back off from it or it will be compromised. You'll look weak. You'll look like a director without a point of view. So I thought, well, hell, I can do that. And that's what I did. You once told Rue Morgue that Halloween was essentially the last film you shot that came out exactly as you wanted it to. Does that mean you weren't entirely happy with the thing? I don't know why I said that. LOL. Okay. This was an interview you did with us back in 99 when Vampires, underrated. I do like Vampires, not a perfect film, but it's a fun B movie, guys.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Was about to come out. We did a cover story on it. Oh, he's like, what is that word? I repudiate.
Christ's sakes.
I can't.
I repudiate that completely. I don't know. Hey, I must have been on drugs then, or maybe I wasn't taking enough. He's probably on drugs now, but
the repudiate word is something I haven't. I guess it doesn't mean he doesn't recall it. It's interesting. I find it's always one or the other. Yeah. In the case of Halloween, I had no options. The movie that you see is what we shot. But in that sense, with The Thing, I'm very happy because I didn't have to worry about reshooting anything. Every other film, of course, I'd go back and tweak and fix. So maybe it was just the experience. I don't mean to make it out that Halloween was exactly the way I wanted it. If you read the screenplay of Halloween and then look at the movie, you'll see that a lot changed. Do you think that maybe a happier ending for The Thing would have gotten a better critical response, even if you had left all the violence in? Oh, is it continued? Probably. Maybe that's why, because his interview's bigger. Maybe why.
Well, is there something at the top here? Because then I think
it's got to be Keith David.
David.
So he's probably, Keith's probably a 1 or 2 spread. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Let me kind of like peruse. Yeah, his is only 1 page. You can see the end. Let me kind of read Keith there. Wait. Where you at, bud?
What am I back?
I'm gonna run to the John real quick. I'll be right back.
Yep. Okay, let me kind of like I think the next page goes back to Carpenter because it goes back to that other color.
Okay.
I just want to see if this is a quick one. Before The Thing, nobody knew who Keith David was, but horror fans sure as hell remembered him when it was over. As the imposing, not to be fucked with Childs, introduced in the script as 6'4", 250, black, a mechanic, can be jolly, but don't mess. David went blow for blow with Kurt Russell, and even the negative reviews of the film praised his performance. All the more remarkably it was, aside from work as an extra, his debut film. I had a wonderful agent. I auditioned and I got lucky, says David, who considered himself a long shot for the part. After all, he had never heard of John Carpenter when he got the script, and his previous training was in theater. I was used to auditioning for plays, not movies. We were in the producer's office and we were reading a group scene where a fight ensues and one of the actors threw the phone on off the producer's desk. I couldn't believe the actors were getting that literal in the room. Childs only has a few lines. He was a man of very few words. All he did was say things like, hell no, and fuck you. But I was so wrapped up in watching what was going on that I blew my cue. Suddenly the room went silent for a couple seconds and everybody's looking around going, who's the next line? And I go, oh, and my line was hell no. Because of that, I thought, oh, well, I blew that. Of course, he did get the part and was particularly happy to work with alongside not just Russell, but other seasoned actors such as Richard A. Dysart, Dr. Copper, and Thomas Waits, Windows, with whom he'd attended the Juilliard School in New York. The principal cast rehearsed the script for 2 weeks before shooting and even ended up shaping the story. Richard Basur, Clark, Charles Hallahan, Norris, and Kurt Russell happen to be real science fiction buffs. So all the holes that are becoming apparent in the script we started to address. David recalls, the one thing that makes the science fiction phony is the inconsistencies. So if the thing is supposed to do this, then it wouldn't do that. And if it's supposed to be like that, then this wouldn't be true. David's performance is particularly memorable because aside from the protagonist, it's the only one left alive of the movie. Childs and McCready sit amongst the burning wreckage of the camp, wondering if one or the other is a thing, all while the temperature plummets, which wasn't hard for the actors to imagine, as most of the frigid exteriors were shot in Alaska and northern British Columbia. The matter-of-fact nihilistic finale was pure Carpenter, notes David, and although it's tough to imagine a different ending of the film, in the optimistic Reagan era, critics and audiences didn't respond to it as hoped. They can't lay off this Reagan shit. We opened to okay reviews, David remembers. I got a couple of honorable mentions, but the film itself got panned. Critics said it was too gross for kids. What a stupid comment to make, because if you're going to compare it to E.T., yes, of course, but why would you take your kid to The Thing anyway? Good point. After the film's lackluster box office performance, David's enthusiasm for Hollywood waned, and he didn't do another film for 4 years until Oliver Stone cast him in Platoon. After that, he got a call from Carpenter to co-star in They Live, a gig that included 3 days shooting the outrageously long fight sequence with Roddy Piper, thereby cementing David's screen image.
One of the best fight scenes ever, by the way.
Remember when they reenacted the whole thing on South Park?
Yeah.
Super
long. Fight!
Yeah, it's so long and it's just insane. Where we go from there, he went on for diverse roles such as Suburban Dad in the comedy There's Something About Mary, the Frank of the Beans, a holy man in the horror sci-fi film Pitch Black, and a policeman in the Academy Award-winning drama Crash. After appearing in dozens of movies and becoming one of the most sought-after narrators in the documentary world, however, genre fans still love him the most as the go-to guy for battling otherworldly shapeshifters. People will come up to me and say, "Oh, you're the guy from The Thing," he says. It still ranks among my most recognizable roles. To me, he's also Spawn in the HBO Spawn series. He's the silver tongue, man.
Tuna.
Alpha said it. Cancel him. Same. Let's see here. Yeah, John, I do remember the TV show. I absolutely love that card. It's one of my, I don't know, we're talking about gargoyles. Okay, Dayton.
Goddamn, I leave for 5 minutes, take a piss, and you start talking about cartoons from the 90s. Jesus.
Dayton wants you. Are you misspelled your own name?
No, yeah. Well, no, I was saying what movie needs to watch, or documentary on Satanic Panic.
So we kind of have to pick up the pace a little bit.
Yes,
we do. We got to get through this. But I kind of wanted to pay attention because this is like the spread. This is the thing.
Yeah.
Let me just kind of like zoom in a little bit.
Well, when did you guys first see The Thing? Because that was not a movie that I grew up with. It was not a movie that like my parents really ever talked about. It was not a movie that was like well known in the zeitgeist of, like when I was a kid, it was Freddy, Jason, Chucky. Like nobody ever really talked about The Thing. And then I don't remember the first time I watched The Thing. Honestly.
Neither. I bet you $1 million is one of those things I saw like on WGN on a Sunday morning on a weekend, in the summertime. And I'm serious. This is the kind of movie they might have put, like Aliens. They used to play Aliens like Cameron in the middle of the day on like WGN or TBS, or I might have saw it in the 90s at some point like that.
No, I remember renting it from Blockbuster like in middle school because like I was the kid who had no friends, so all I would do was go to Blockbuster and rent.
What's changed? Continue.
Same here.
So I picked up The Thing. I was big into creature feature stuff at the time, and I was like, okay, I need to watch The Thing, and I was blown away. I was like, this is amazing. The special effects are amazing, and of course, I was coming off of all my zombie craze with Tom Savini, and then once I saw like Bottin's of special effects, I was like, oh my god, this is like. Seeing it for the first time, I was blown away.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it because I remember, I want to say I probably rented it at like one of my local mom and pop shops, one of the 5 for $5 deals where you get 5 movies for $5, you get to keep them for 5 days type of thing. And I remember coming across it and like, it just always seemed like I always just like when I was younger thought it was like, oh, it's just one of those like cheesy fucking movies like The Blob or the something, it's just like I didn't think much of it until like and then I saw it and I was like, Jesus Christ, like this is hardcore, like this is brilliant shit. Like I immediately fell in love with it, and I remember seeing it at a point where it wasn't quite what it is now, and people really didn't talk about it until like a few years later. But I remember just being like, holy shit, like this is, because I mean, I think it's just the title too, The Thing. It just sounds like corny in a way, like The Thing. It sounds like 50s sci-fi because I mean, it's a remake of a 50s sci-fi movie. But I remember as a young kid, you're used to seeing like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you see The Thing next to it, and you're just like, oh, I don't know about that one. That looks corny. But then you realize it's John Carpenter, and you're like, all right. But yeah, I remember watching it and was just like, Jesus Christ, like this is not at all what I was expecting. And I kind of felt the same way about The Blob too. When I first saw the Blob remake from the 80s, I was like, oh, this is a little more hardcore than I thought,
Starring Kevin Dillon.
Yeah.
Hey guys, John, I agree. I love Assault on Precinct 13. I think it's a great film.
It is great.
Awesome film, dude. I love it, and I think it deserves even more love. And okay, so actually, let me just kind of look at something on the second page. Can you kind of zoom out a little bit? We'll kind of pass because we got a lot of stuff to cover. Zoom in a little bit. Go to the right. Yeah. Okay.
Extreme Measures.
Oh, what is that? Yeah, let's read that. Extreme Measures. John Carpenter had scored all of his own films since Dark Star, excuse me. So it was remarkable that for The Thing, he allowed someone else to sit in the composer's chair. Choosing wisely, he enlisted Morricone to conjure up the soundtrack of cold isolation and seething madness. Carpenter's recognizable style consists of bass drones, pulses, and simple rhythms, often rendered through electronic instruments. Sometimes funky, Assault on Precinct 13, but incredibly atmospheric and perfectly suited for his films of paranoia. His affinity for musical simplicity guided Morricone. Yeah, that goes what you're saying. Who was best known at the time for his Sergio Leone Western scores, but had been working prolifically in nearly all genres. When the veteran Italian composer delivered a part orchestral, part synth score for the film, the best track remains the title music, where Morricone mimics Carpenter's fat analog sounds by using minimal synth pulses, to convey the sterility of Antarctica.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Yep.
While introducing the film's main theme, a 3-note chord shifting motif, it adds a steadily increasing yet indiscreet tension to the opening montage of a mysterious husky hunted by a Norwegian helicopter team. Go down a little bit. Throughout the film, Morricone repeatedly returns to this simple motif, using modern orchestral configurations for the film's biologically explosive transformation scenes, and a more melodic rendition which, like the aliens entombed spaceship, dwarfs the encircling scientists who stand on a glacier, reeling in the immensity of the ominous discovery. Although a Hollywood production, it's fascinating to hear in its composer's patented use of minimalism, layered harmonics, and flawless orchestral colors applied to the American genre movie, transforming cliches into something contemporary. The original MCA LP and Varis Sarabande CD are long out of print, as is Universal's first DVD, which featured the album as an audio bonus under the making of documentary. But they're all worth hunting down, along with the rare Australian version, which contains unused tracks. Until this gem gets the expanded release, it's been deserving for 25 years. I have the CD. I have a CD of it.
You don't have the vinyl of it?
I don't.
Okay.
I would like it. You can buy it for me. I got a CD, though. All right, let's move on. Is this another page?
Yeah.
Oh, this is Bottin. Let's see. Kicking in. Would you guys buy this magazine? Wait, what?
What?
Whiskey. I think he's saying the whiskey is kicking in.
Oh, the whiskey's kicking in. Oh, those drinks, shot glasses. Got it. Okay, I'm just gonna skim Bottin a little bit. Can you kind of zoom in? Let's check this out. Carpenter invited you to make The Thing after he saw your impressive work on The Howling. What, if anything, did you learn on the film that you took with The Thing to The Thing? When I read the original Howling script, there was no description beyond Eddie changes into a werewolf. When I read The Thing in our first meeting, I gambled on the imagination's uniqueness by telling John I felt the script was easily the best horror script ever, but I rejected the concept of the Thing monster as written, pointing out that it was way too much like Alien. I very well could have lost the job right then and there, but instead of defending it, Carpenter stared at me for what seemed like an eternity, then screwed up his face, whining comically. Oh no! Now what are we gonna do? John is a very funny man.
Spot on impression of Carpenter.
I love it.
The FX are astoundingly creative and ingenious. That fucking spider head. I know it was your idea to make The Thing capable of looking like anything. All the creatures that it imitated in the past. How did you come up with the crazy non-concept? Much like a method actor and screenwriter, I became The Thing in my mind, reasoned out my behavior, and pitched it to Carpenter right in the spot. The original script mandates The Thing lives inside humans and bursts out, suddenly appearing when it attacks. But that's what's too much like Aliens. So let's pretend I'm The Thing, okay? I read that as Quentin Tarantino. Okay. In the beginning of the story, we see my spaceship crash land on Earth. But where did I come from, Jan? And why does the story refer to me as the thing? Okay. What if I crash landed on Earth because I barely escaped another planet where the life forms there discovered me, attacked me, and sent me packing? And what if before I was on yet another planet? Next page.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not going to read all this. I just want to finish this little anecdote. Was a completely different life that discovered me, attacked me, and sent me fleeing into outer space again. Carpenter. Okay, but where's this going? I continued, rather than simply living inside each different life form on each different planet. What if I had literally imitated each one's physical appearance, like a fugitive on the run, fleeing from one planet to the next, desperately trying to blend in by shape-shifting, disguising myself as each life form I encountered, hoping to go undetected, just to exist, to be left alone. Carpenter said, I'm liking this, but what's the point? I asked John, like I just fucking told you, dude. How much more you need?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. I asked John to hear me out. Okay, here's the best part. If I'm the thing and I know my survival is dependent on successfully hiding, blending in with those around me by way of shape-shifting imitation capabilities, I'm obviously a paranoid creature who's very afraid of being discovered. But when I am discovered, taken by surprise, attacked, my advantage is I can physically recall any aspect of any previous life form I've imitated, utilizing its most appropriate physical defense mechanism to protect myself. And if that part of me is destroyed when attacked by those who I've imitated, the rest of me will survive because each part of me is an individual whole. I'm not an alien bug, nor an alien animal, nor alien vegetable. I am all those things and more. That's when they called me the thing. Carpenter still wasn't completely sold. That's a wild concept, Rob, but it sure sounds complicated.
It sounds like a wild fever dream that you would have while you're taking acid. I think that's where Rob came up with this. And
All right.
Carpenter was just like, the fuck are you talking about? Like,
let's turn the page. I'm not going to read all this, but it's pretty cool.
It's robust. It's great, man. A lot of good stuff here.
Okay.
Oh, dang. Another couple pages.
We got to get through this.
Yeah.
This is a long issue.
The world's biggest fan.
Oh, that looks like every world's biggest horror fan, thing fan right there. That's him. Alpha, is that you at the age of 12?
No,
like
no.
Stan's mustache. You have the same glasses. Meet
the
Todd
world's
Cameron.
biggest thing fan, Todd Cameron.
He would be
Todd
a Todd
Cameron. Yeah.
Old like movie Mike. Hey, new to your channel. Good stuff, dude. Appreciate it, man. Hopefully you subbed. Welcome aboard Mike's DVD and Blu-ray collection, man. So you're in the physical space.
Mike, we're here every other Friday doing
we stream on Wednesdays and Fridays. We're gonna be doing these deep dives bi-weekly, I think the plan is.
Yeah, with Rue Morgue. Yeah.
I gotta see his ad for Tom Savini's school. This is where Todd wanted to go when he was a kid, man.
Yep.
Tom Savini's makeup special effects program. I want to see the man. What is that green fucking thing? Second to right. If I go to Tom Savini's school and that's what I make, a fucking like, she looks like she's turning into a watermelon. I'd want my money back.
Dagon. Remember Dagon? I don't know.
Oh, that movie, the Dagon. I thought it was called Dagon.
Dagon, whatever.
Dagon.
Is that Bub, dude? Is that a dime store Bub, dude?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's the guy. There's the man. Film production, digital editing, directing, lighting, marketing, production, and screenwriting. Douglas Education Center. But this isn't his school, is it?
Yeah.
Why do they call it the Douglas School?
Douglas, they always,
Why would he call it like Savini fucking you? He's so full of himself.
Savini you, yeah. No, do you guys want to try to call this number real quick? See what happens?
Go ahead, go and pull it up. Do it.
You guys mentioned this the other day. I was like, I wonder if that number even still works.
All right. You can't tease us and not take us all the way. Put that shit up against the phone. We're gonna call Savini you.
We're gonna see if this number still works. See what happens here, because I'm curious.
He answers in bed. Hello.
Hopefully, he didn't get closed down like Trump you did.
Our business hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you are interested in becoming a new student or have questions about our program,
it still works.
Want to speak with the admissions department. For the financial aid department, press 2. For the business office, purchasing, and office of the president, press 3. For the education department, press 4. For career services and job placement, press 5. For marketing and public relations,
to reach Tom Savini's bedroom.
For cosmetology, skincare, and massage therapy services.
Massage therapy.
For maintenance and
By
technology
Tom
pressing.
himself.
Savini's
Protocol
teaching that.
press
It's not co-ed. It's just the women.
Wow. So it does exist. They say Douglas in the beginning of it.
I think so. Yeah, let me.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Is that
man.
what it said?
Okay.
Thank you for calling Douglas Education Center.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's the
Okay.
same number.
Awesome. So they're still around.
They should have had Savini do the auto fucking thing. If you want to join my school,
Yeah, get a degree, dude. That's awesome.
There was a small part of me that was hoping that, like, maybe not Tom, but maybe Jerry Gergely or one of those people would be. It would ring directly to his cell phone or something like that.
Okay. Okay. Here you go. Here you go.
Oh,
Tom Savini will award a certificate of excellence to those graduating with exceptional portfolios.
or you could just like give him $50 and see him at a con and get him to sign, like take your fucking career of excellence thing, get him to sign it. Interesting.
he would.
Well,
Yeah.
is this a
Well, it still
transferable degree?
works.
Is it accredited? Oh, remember. Okay, I
doubt
do.
it's
I
accredited.
do want to go down this road. This is the 10th anniversary of Rue Morgue, so I feel like I want to read this.
Yeah.
This is kind of a tentpole piece, and then we'll kind of like briskly get through the other stuff. So go ahead and zoom in. Like there is our boy there. The year was 97 and horror was in the air. David Lynch's Lost Highway was in theaters. Best Lynch film. Scream was a fledgling franchise, and Event Horizon was being touted as the scariest movie of the season. The DVD
really?
reissue. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at the time I felt like it was kind of a bomb, but it kind of got its like legs later. The DVD reissue craze was in full swing, and Anchor Bay Entertainment was leading the pack in classic releases from the video era, stuff like Argento's Suspiria and Raimi's Evil Dead. The X-Files was on its 4th season, and White Wolf's Vampire the Masquerade role-playing game was at its peak. What the fuck?
What?
I don't know nothing about role-playing games, dude.
Hmm.
How many nerds out there play the role-playing card games? Let me know. It's
There's
like
a lot, man.
I mean, it's probably fun, if I could be bothered, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like role-playing video games, so I guess I would like that too.
I have too many other hobbies.
9 Inch Nails was huge. Marilyn Manson had just declared himself Antichrist superstar, and Rob Zombie was working on his first solo album. Horror was in the air. At the time, this is actually written by him. That's right. At the time, I was still in my 20s, a frustrated journalist caught in the star-making machinery of Canada's music industry, an overqualified graduate in literary studies and philosophy with a restless desire to find something more meaningful. I was fortunate. I had some experience running a student newspaper, which meant I could write, edit, and lay out, and was familiar with the economic model for publishing. So I was uniquely suited to start a magazine, but had no idea what it should be about. Having grown up reading Weird Tales and Rod Serling's Twilight Zone magazine, I briefly contemplated doing something literary, but in the end, I felt there was not enough money in fiction. My mind was humming from the studies in the 20th century philosophy, and this brought me to Stephen King's book-long essay on the horror genre, Dance Macabre. And although I found King's reflections to be somewhat superficial, I was intrigued by his appendix, in which he listed 100 of the most influential horror films of all time, many of which I had never heard of. I decided to watch all 100 films in chronological order to get a better feel of the genre, which I had loved since I was a kid. That's hardcore.
Have you guys ever read that Dance Macabre?
No,
Never.
I haven't.
Never.
I need to get a hold of that because I just finished his book on writing, where it's just him talking about his, it's almost autobiographical, and he's talking about his writing techniques, and it's pretty interesting.
Kevin, I did a whole horror art feature in an issue of the magazine on Magic the Gathering. I don't play the game, but learned a little about it for the issue. I bet you it's fun, dude.
I have a lot of friends that play it still, but yeah.
You do?
Yeah, dude. Like people I have some friends that play that are into that still.
There was a time I used to be like retro. I used to retro game hunt like 10, 15 years ago. And I would Google places in new cities like, you Google up like game shops.
Mhm.
And I would go to them and I'd walk in and it was like, this kind of games. And it'd be a bunch of people like at tables playing the cards and stuff like that. And, I would be disappointed, but dude, those people are super into it.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And in one hand, it's like, it's got to be pretty cool because they have a community.
Yeah.
It's not like today or, you can just online game, which could be cool too. But these people actually would go, and they still do. They still go to these places, these comic book stores where they have like card game night and, and it's a big thing. So more power to them.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, Manson, hell, Satan, all those things. He does kind of have Eli Roth vibes, doesn't he?
Yeah, kind of looks like Eli.
Someone tell me the Pokemon craze. I don't know what that is. What is Catan? I know Chris Catan.
He's talking about Pokemon. That's still a
Oh,
thing.
Pokemon. Satan, is that your dialect? Like your hell dialect, like Pokemon?
What? Somebody tell me the Pokemon craze.
And so it came to pass that every Sunday night was horror movie night. Friends heard about it, as did friends of friends, drawn, I think, to the academic conceit of the project and to the discussions that always followed. It was a good time. Things were easy, relaxed, and stimulating. It felt like I was discovering horror films for the first time, even though I had grown up on a steady diet of Carpenter, Romero, Craven, Cronenberg, and Lynch. How do you fit them all in? I'm just kidding. Here were horrors I'd never known. Peeping Tom. This is like the natural, like you peel back the layer of the onion, like that. I don't even think I don't even think like the Romeros and Cronenberg is the first layer for me. That's like second layer. And then you get into Peeping Tom, Witchfinder General, Let's Scare Jessica to Death, and Seance on a Wet Afternoon. Yeah, he dug deep.
I haven't seen Seance yet, but go ahead.
The more popular classics were there too, such as Creature from the Black Lagoon, Carrie, Halloween, and Alien. And seeing them in chronological order gave them a sense of history, that sense of being part of a greater tradition dating back to the dawn of cinema. Largely as a result of those viewings, I took a greater interest in rediscovering the horror genre, which naturally took me to bookstores and specialty stores. One day I wandered into Toronto's Suspect Video, and I realized how much horror had grown up. There were trading cards, games, toys, clothing. There were critical works, anthologies, omnibuses, and encyclopedias. My gosh, what does Rodrigo think? What does he think today? Now there's like merchandise out the ass.
Yeah.
Dude, I would have killed to had merchandise back when I was a kid.
Me too.
Even like video games and stuff.
You couldn't really find anything horror back in the day.
Now they sell horror shirts at Walmart.
Yeah.
It's people are eating good if that's your thing, right? Let's see. Largely as a result of those viewings. Okay, I already read that. Sorry. And of course, there were the films, so many now from every part of the world. There was also horror magazines. Glancing through them, I was surprised that none of them seemed to see what I was seeing, that horror had evolved beyond movies to become some sort of wilder cultural experience, a culture that was booming. Horror
it's booming even harder right now. I think like the past 5, ever since, the pandemic, it seems like it's gotten even bigger.
It's just you cannot go to any store. You don't even have to go. There was a time where if you wanted to find merch, like when we were in high school, it was like Spencer's or maybe even like Hot Topic. Now it's like Target, dude. It's Walmart and Target, Funko Pops, NECA action figures. It's just the toys back when I was a kid looked like shit. And now it's like you got companies like NECA that just are making amazing molds and
studios and all that. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I would say the kids are eating good, but we all know it's like 40-year-olds and stuff like us that are buying it. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I think I read something recently where it was like toys. Kids aren't buying toys anymore. It's people our age.
Yeah.
We're the target audience for toys now.
Kids are getting bought e-bucks for Minecraft and what's the shooting one, Fortnite. Yeah, so it's a bit backwards. But horror and culture and entertainment. A week or so later, over lunch break at the RPM magazine offices where I worked, I found myself in a gift shop filled with Halloween trinkets, and looking at them gave me a little bit of an epiphany. It dawned on me that perhaps the popular culture's fascination with horror was somehow effective of the 20th century's interest in existentialism, alienation, and anxiety. I imagine that 2 world wars and the threat of nuclear holocaust probably exacerbated this general feeling. The possibility of exploring, however superficially, the wider context excited me beyond the possibilities of a mere horror magazine. My magazine would tackle the art and culture of horror and perhaps satisfy some of the more esoteric interests. At last, I had found my idea. The magazine would be called Rue Morgue because of the composite of a French and an English word made distinctly Canadian, because Poe had been the idol of my youth because of Murders in the Rue Morgue, was a detective story, and the idea of becoming like a detective and asking questions about why people liked horror seemed fresh and unique. Lastly, my magazine would critique the genre as much as celebrate it. Too many times have I sat through a bad horror film only to have friends defend it like it was a work of genius. Well, you should hang out with us.
Yeah.
I'm like the cynic around here, dude. I pity no fools, take no prisoners. Rue Morgue would be more honest than that. The magazine would only devote feature articles to stuff I believed in. Almost immediately, I began working, flowing dummy text to design and redesign to look for the new mag. I brainstormed column ideas, headings, fonts, and design formats. I began jotting down story ideas, writing reviews, and assigning articles to some of the film night regulars. I worked late into the night and on weekends, and my friend, Mary Beth, whom I'd worked with at the student newspaper, helped me edit and proof. 6 months later, the issue finally went to the printer. A week after that, it was in my hands. The premiere issue of Rue Morgue was delivered to my place of work late in October 1997. And the first thing that crossed my mind when I saw it was how many things were wrong. But my coworkers at RPM, among them Jody Infernari, were impressed, as my boss, who kept shaking his head in disbelief that I had pulled it off under his nose. But Rue Morgue had a long way to go. I was immediately thrust. The blood on here is making it a little harder. So I was immediately, hold on. Where am I? Okay, go down. I found my place.
Okay.
I was immediately thrust into handling every single editorial and business aspect of the magazine, including selling the ads and dealing with the printer. I was still full-time at RPM, so it was a tough slog, and I can't honestly say I enjoyed everything, but I was happier than I'd ever been in my life. Overnight, my tiny apartment became crammed with boxes. The next day, I began distributing the magazine. So many stories like that.
That's awesome, dude.
It also reminds me of like Wes Craven, like, running a New Line out of like his apartment and whatever, like selling, getting Reefer Madness distributed and stuff like that. That's how you got to do it, man.
I love to talk to him, man. Sounds like a cool dude.
What do we got here? He gave him for free to select stores in Toronto and mailing it off to every horror related company I could think of. Before I knew it, I was deep into RM2. And so it went issue to issue, hand to mouth. To be honest, I think I was flying by the seat of my pants for the first 3 years, what I would consider to be the first period of Rue Morgue's history. It was a lonely time filled with long hours, no social life, and a gnawing insecurity that everything would be for naught. Even so, I was happy. Maybe ecstatic is the right word. I was now on horror movie sets, talking with horror writers and directors. And in 1998, I was flown to LA to meet John Carpenter and his wife, Sandy, prior to the release of Vampires. This period is also notable for two major things in Rue Morgue's history: our U.S. premiere with Rue Morgue 7 and the arrival of some very key people in the development of the magazine. This is a cool story. Oh, I spy I spy a familiar face down there.
90.
Mary Beth Hollier is the first person I think about when I think of those early days, as she was the first ever to help me with the magazine. I met Mary Beth at the University of Toronto, where together we ran a student paper for a few years, first as entertainment editors, then as an associate editor, and finally as members of the governing body. Having rescued that floundering publication from a bad rep and a deficit of $60K in a year's time was no small feat. So it was a no-brainer that I would turn to Mary Beth at the early stages of the mag. The truth is that Mary Beth, MB, as she became known, knew that I was contemplating starting something that would periodically suggest an idea or two. So when I finally decided on Rue Morgue, she was more than up to the task, despite the fact that she had little idea of what horror was about. The second person who was crucial to those early years was actually the person I hired first, Jody Infernari. Jody was a cohort of the RPM offices, and his passion lay in PR and marketing. And even though I had once told the RPM brass that Jody was a natural sales guy, they balked at the idea. Their loss was my gain. I hired Jody on a commission basis to begin building what would become Rue Morgue's advertising base, as well as to help my promotions. Jody had no idea what a real horror film was, so one day I decided to show him an excerpt from Bill Lustig's Maniac. Hell yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
That's a good one to. It's like here you go.
Just watch the slow-mo jump.
One of my favorites. Yeah.
Shotgun to the head on repeat.
Yes.
Like get the Clockwork Orange things, hold his eyes open, just repeat that over and over again. See how he is after. Which was Tom Savini's head. Yeah, in which Tom Savini's head is blown off in a shower of gore. Jody was awestruck, but otherwise unfazed. He rose to the challenge and quickly ingratiated himself into the horror community, even going so far as becoming a legendary personality on the convention circuit. Jody's contributions were to form a vital role at Rue Morgue's financial health for many years to come. That's saying a lot, considering his first day on the job, he had no idea who Lon Chaney was. Wow. The last and certainly not least of Rue Morgue's first guard was Marco Picota, who came on board almost incidentally, only to become my right-hand man in the business once the magazine reached its second stride. Marco had a gaming company in Toronto and was developing a board game based on Dante's Inferno. Naturally, I wanted to review it for the magazine, and it was then I met him, an affable guy who shared many of my aspirations. I wanted to ultimately become a filmmaker. Marco dreamt of producing movies. And even though the Inferno review was not exactly flattering, Marco shrugged it off and offered to invest some cash and lend me office space in exchange for a cut of the profits. But there wouldn't be profits for a while. Nevertheless, things moved forward. The three of us, Mary Beth, Jody, and I, forged ahead. The writers got their copy in on time, and I began to pay them. Over the years, there were amazing issues. Our number 3, Tom Savini, the first color issue, and the first with the price tag. The issues that were nearly tragic. Number 16, The Exorcist, a technical nightmare. There were ups and there were downs. Number 14, Trauma, Sex, and Gore issue, was boycotted by a major film company due to that issue's sexual content. I'd be lying if I said I didn't care at all about this, but the truth is that part of me didn't care at all. That's pretty cool, man.
Oh, I'd love to hear those stories, dude.
Look, even
tragic stories, dude.
Kevin didn't know Maniac is a gateway drug. Holy shit. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I can't imagine. Todd, you saw Maniac pretty young, right?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't.
That was
I saw
a middle school movie for me.
I saw it pretty late, and I can't imagine seeing that like at 9 or 10. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no fun or lightheartedness about Maniac at all. Like,
It's
there's
just
not.
It's a greasy movie. It's just sleazy.
It really
Serial
is.
killer. Yeah, and I love those. I still love those, man. Those are still my favorite genres.
Oh, what is this? I might skim this. The Rue Morgue. I'm probably
yeah.
gonna let's just go. We're not gonna skim this. Let's just go and pass.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ghoulish Gary. You look cool though. Nice. He's got horns. Oh, this is the family. Let's just kind of look at these pictures, man. Let's look at the Rue fam. Toolbox Murders.
The Toby Hooper Blood Feast.
That's one I just watched not long ago for the first time, actually.
Yeah, it's been on my list for ever and ever, and I still haven't watched it.
Check it out, man. Yeah, I watching it. It was one of those movies where I was like, I can't believe I've never seen this movie.
Sorry, this is totally random, but Scott, why did the dango eat your baby? We're picking on Scott again, the Aussie.
We love the Aussies.
I thought that was Eddie Vedder for a second. I was wrong. Let's see here. Yeah, man. Look at they're with Romero.
Hey,
look,
there's George.
Where? Oh yeah. I mean,
Alpha, really quick. We don't have to spend how you got to meet Romero, of course, right?
Yeah, I met him one time.
Just one time. Yeah.
Just once. Yeah.
Nice.
Watch what you say. That's a bit racially. Oh, really?
What's that?
Dango.
The dingo ate my baby.
Oh,
sorry. I was reading the comment. Get mad at Satan. I was just reading the comment.
I'm looking at all these women in this magazine. I'm pretty sure I've dated most of these women. This looks like my style back in the day. I don't know.
Oh, Festival of Fear.
Oh, it's the Festival of Fears. Yeah. Okay.
Was Clive Barker there? Oh, it's what the Alice Cooper appeared?
He must have.
He was doing cons back then. That's cool.
2006.
It's an Ichi the Killer.
Oh yeah, awesome. Down is Up. Maniac with my friends on 42nd Street when I was 13.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Jeff was talking about that the other night. How awesome would that have been?
Did you guys need a shower after? Oh, I think we were talking about this in another street. Didn't I make a comment about like they were in the jerk off theater next door? It's like you got them coming out. They're all hot, bothered, and sweaty, and you're coming out looking like Maniac, all hot body and Savette,
Yeah, I think it was the Savini stream we were doing last weekend.
Oh yeah, on your channel. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Gunnar Hansen.
Yeah, Gunnar Hansen.
Okay.
R.I.P. That's Cormac. Yeah.
I think this was the editor in chief at the time, the one who's writing the thing. Center.
Before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So. Is that her? Cool. Oh, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
I think she was.
The manuscript.
I'm a fan.
Jacobok. Oh, Mr. Begon. I just want to look at this Mr. Begon thing. Clive Barker tells us how Unholy Possession led to the newest book, Mr. Begon, a first-person narrative told from the voice of a horribly disfigured demon who wants you to burn him alive. I have to read this page.
That's a crazy painting, man.
It looks like crayons.
Clive Barker make this, dude?
I don't know. It looks like it was done with crayon. It looks creepy though. Here, zoom in. I do want to kind of just read a little bit of this, and then
okay.
Yeah, this is how the book started. I remember, burn this book, With those 3 introductory words, Clive Barker cleverly sums up the black heart and soul of his new novel, Mr. Be Gone, a playful yet thoroughly nasty return to horror that focuses on the relationship between the reader and the word, and as well as the elemental fire that has the power to destroy it. Mr. Be Gone is the nickname of Jacobach, a lesser-known demon outcast among Hell's Demonation, who seems destined to foul up every move he makes. Yearning to tell the gruesome story of his life, he narrates, yet he consistently asks the reader to burn the text and thus grant him freedom from the paper prison. How he got there remains a mystery until the finale. See, Botch is quite literally the book. He's in the pages, he's in the ink, he's in the binding glue and the stitches, and he infectiously finds his way under your skin through the contact of your fingertips, and his transfigured body pleas, bargains, and threats are drawn out torture. So that kind of put me off about this book when I got it. It kept breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and maybe that I kind of want to read it again, but
Sounds interesting.
It was a little weird. And like I was trying to follow the narrative, and the book would start talking to me.
Wow.
Like, stop what you're doing now and do it. Like, is this like a choose your own mystery?
Yeah.
It was interesting, but I got to give it a fair shake. I don't think I really gave it a fair shake. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but that's a creepy picture. I would put that on a t-shirt.
I put it on my wall, dude. That painting. It's cool.
Yeah.
Bet you put a whole
crayon or whatever.
It is. It looks like crayons, dude. Okay, let's go ahead and pass it. Skip on. Yeah, there's a lot there. Shit. Jericho the game. Let's look at the spread on Jericho the game. Yeah, I never played
that.
No,
I never played it either.
I think it had its like cult following.
This game is a very violent game, even by the standards of the games
that are out there.
Clive Barker.
Clive had a unique imagination.
Are we sure? Yeah. Are we sure Jericho wasn't PS3?
Maybe it was.
This time period, it may be a PS3.
I remember being on PS3, but yeah, 07's kind of tricky on the year.
Yeah, somebody in the chat, if they know, let us know.
Like an early PS3 game, because I remember I could have swore it had like the spine where it had the Spider-Man font, or the early PS3. Yeah. I'm gonna look it up, guys. It's driving me crazy. Jericho Clive Barker game. I'm pretty sure it's PS3. Yep, 360 and PS3.
Okay.
Wow, that must have been very early, like right.
Yeah, it must have been.
Okay, let's go ahead. 2 Frightfully Evil collections, Vincent Price and the Fly collection. Okay. Heavier Than Hell. Okay. I just want to see who I mean, I'm seeing some recognizable. Who are
you?
Venom.
Yeah, I got Venom.
They're all painted. How can you tell?
You got Immortal, dude. I mean, I know a Both when I see him, dude. Like he's like that king of the meme, dude.
Cradle of Filth, dude.
Cradle of Filth. I remember them.
Look, these are all guys that don't wear shirts, but they should totally wear shirts. Like, look at that. Look at those moves, dude. And he's like, he doesn't care though. That's metal. He's like, I'm even gonna do it from the unflattering Humpty Dumpty angle. Yeah. I'm gonna take the pregnancy pose where you're like showing the belly, dude.
That's like, exactly what that is.
He literally he's got a sad face, like he just ate Burger King, dude, and realized it's not as good as it used to be when he was a kid. Because it's not.
It's like he's about to run to the bathroom after a dinner at Taco Bell. That's the face that you're making. Oh,
he just ate some fucking chicken fries, dude, from Burger King. He's about to shit himself. Remember the rodeo burger, dude, with the fun onion rings there?
Essential black metal albums.
This is what I want to see. Bathory, obviously. Burzum fucking sucks, guys. If you guys are into black, dude, Burzum is not metal. It's not music. It's nothing. It's like, dude, fucking Varg did not know anything about music. He just wanted to be part of the scene so bad. Everybody knows the tale of black metal. Go watch Lords of Chaos. It's a great movie.
Good movie, yeah.
But just he's a fucking poser and he's a Nazi piece of shit, Anyway, but I did follow his YouTube channel for a while because he's hilarious. Because he'd be like, when he got out of jail, he would be like on his farm, and he was so docile. Yeah,
he's a Nazi piece of shit. Fuck him. But I like his YouTube channel. He's pretty funny.
He'd be like talking from his farmland, dude, and he'd be like very docile, very well spoken. But then he would like slip in casually about like and then fucking.
Yeah, we got it
to death with those. It's like but he's an interesting guy. He's a piece of trash that brutally murdered somebody. And he's lucky he wasn't in America, because he wouldn't have gotten the slap on the wrist that he did. Anyway, Celtic Frost, Morbid Tales, awesome record. I love Celtic Frost. I love that first. I like them all at first 3 Celtic Frost records. I even liked Monolith, that last one they did before they got back together and they disbanded. Awesome, very
Man,
what's the word? Bohemian. It's very bohemian sounding. Dark Throne, Blaze in the Northern Sky, that's a classic. Emperor, Night Side Eclipse. Okay, let's see. I never liked black metal. Yeah, well, the thing is, not all black metal sucks, but I understand why. This is not all the same. So like Mayhem doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like Burzum. It definitely doesn't sound like Merciful Fate. It doesn't sound like Celtic Frost. Celtic Frost to me doesn't sound like traditional, baby down a well fucking black metal. Merciful Fate doesn't sound in themes. It's got the occult theme. Like Don't Break the Oath is amazing. Also an awesome cover. But to me, when you listen to Merciful Fate, it's got the occult themes, but when you listen to it, the first 2 records, Melissa, Don't Break the Oath, you basically hear where like bands like Metallica and Megadeth got their blueprint.
Yeah.
And actually pretty good production value, especially Don't Break the Oath. It sounds great. It doesn't sound like a shitty black metal record. Venom, Welcome to Hell. They also have black metal. Those are very archaic records, but they're very seminal and whatever, but they're fun, but they're very, like I said, rough around the edges.
Nocturnal Poisoning by Blood, Fire, Death.
That's the record label. Come on,
dude. I never got black metal. I never.
But I'm telling you, and
fucking corny for me.
Zoom out for a second. So I'm telling you, Burzum, Bathory, Dark. These are black metal. This is like the thing you think of when you think black metal, but not all the, like Venom doesn't sound like black metal to me. It sounds like real rough around the edges, kind of like proto thrash. Merciful Fate, same thing. If you like Megadeth and early Metallica, you'll probably like Merciful Fate, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I do.
So it's they're I think they're looking at more the theme than anything. And especially in the 80s or in the early 90s, this stuff didn't have a lot of names. It's like they were just calling anything that was like dark and occult, oh, it's black metal or death metal. It just wasn't all the same. What's up? Acres of Movies. Hello and thanks from Stacy. Hi, Stacy. Grande's Graveyard. I don't watch that channel. Well, I don't either. I never heard of it. All right, what do we got?
How you not heard of Grande's Graveyard, dude? Grande's awesome, man.
I've heard of Grande Girls, the website my brother got caught going on.
Go sub to Grande's Graveyard. He's great, man.
Oh yeah, Grande's great.
Mezcal, man. They had I guess they had some horror rights for a minute there, like at Nightmare 3. We got the Bon Appetit bitch Freddy, dude. Oh, he's got that.
Yeah.
I have this Leatherface figure signed by Ed Neal, the hitchhiker. I got signed back in 2008.
That's awesome, man.
It's pretty cool. This little 3D figure here. Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember where the hell I got this thing, but it's been sitting on a shelf forever. So I'm like, I'm gonna take a chance to show the sucker off. But yeah, it's
yeah,
that's really cool.
I got it signed at the Ed Neal was at that Texas Frightmare weekend. That was at that point where I don't know if he still does it or not, but Edwin Neal, the guy who plays the hitchhiker, used to be really big into like selling original one sheets.
Oh, okay.
Like that was kind of like his big business at the time. He's one of the big one sheet guys. So that was around that time. But yeah, I saw that on there. I was like, oh shit, I have that. I gotta show that off.
Oh, I like the Freddy Worm diorama, dude.
That's funny too.
That's a good question, Stacy. What's our favorite Carpenter directed scene?
Specific.
Yeah, that's tough. Honestly, this.
I like the thing with the head where it like
the spider,
it starts coming out. Yeah.
That's pretty creepy. You know what? I'm gonna be kind of generic here because I don't want to think about it too hard. But honestly, when Michael Myers in the original Halloween, when he masterfully like just appears out of the shadows, right? And you just see that mask like come out, and all you see is the mask at first. It's just so cast in darkness, and he comes out. It's awesome. And of course, like at the end when Lori's like, on the
Mhm.
phone or whatever, and she thinks, and you see him, he's out of focus, and then he just sits up, that iconic, and he comes into it's really creepy and really well done. As much as I could take a break from that movie. There's some iconic imagery in it.
I'd say like my favorite scene from that, directed scene at least, the way that it plays out and the beats of it and just kind of the rhythm of it is the scene where what's her name? Not Linda, but what's her name? Nancy Loomis. When she's dropping off the kid at with Lori, and then she's going to the car and she's humming, she's like na, 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 and she goes to the car and realizes that the car's locked, and she's like, oh, I need my keys, and then she goes back to the house, and it's like this long, slow, played out thing, and she's she goes back to the house, grabs the keys, you see her walk all the way back from the house back to the garage to the car, and she opens the door, and it opens. It's not locked anymore. And if you got to catch on to that as an audience member, it's like, oh, the door's not locked anymore. And she gets in the car, and then she realizes, like, oh wait, like,
wasn't this locked?
Yeah, and it's like the way that plays out, the suspense of that scene. I always love that. It's so subtle because there's no music or anything behind it. It's just you're watching her go back and forth from the house to the garage. And it's just those little hints of like, oh shit, Michael's in the fucking car. I always love that scene. It just plays so well for me.
Oh,
Satan says that's a dope hat, Alpha. Is that a fucking Chipotle hat? What the hell is that? It's like Chipotle, dude.
Iron City Beer, man.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh, PA. Come on.
I saw a Grande burrito, and I think I had a one-track mind. I'm like thinking burritos.
My other favorite scene probably is the ending of The Fog. It's great where they go into that church, and then you see the creatures coming in with the eye, the ghosts, and everything with the red eyes. That scene is just burned into my brain.
Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the page.
Sorry.
That's not a hot take, dude. I love vampires. I think it's a fun movie.
I love
dude.
vampires too.
I love James Woods. I wish you guys would all fucking build a bridge and get over it and let James Woods work. The dude was awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I love his movies.
He's great.
He has the wrong politics. He can't work in Hollywood anymore.
He's an actor. Like, let him just act and be the sleazeball guy.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
They all have bad politics. It's all
right.
Yeah.
You gotta fall in line, or you're cast it out.
I'm not going to read this, but did you guys like this movie? I remember this was kind of a big deal, and like with my friend circles, in Missouri at the time.
I saw it in the theaters. I actually thought it was pretty solid. I liked the tone, and
it had a look about it.
Cinematography was kind of cool. But I didn't mind it at all. I didn't love it, but I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was a little underwhelming, but it looked awesome.
Yeah.
I'll always have a grudge against this movie because when the movie came out, I felt ripped off because I made a movie in high school called 40 Days of Night.
Same premise though?
No, I mean it's just about a guy that wakes up and it's just eternal nighttime for 40 days and he's alone in the world. And it was based off of a Bible verse because it was during a period where I was dating a church girl. So I was inspired because I was, in that world, and I was like, there's something in the Bible about, 40 days of solitude and then eternal darkness and shit. I forget what it is now, but at the time it was just, and that was kind of my thing. I was like 40 Days of Night. And then this movie came out and I was like, oh, these motherfuckers ripped me off. Cause I mean, my little movie was in some film festivals and stuff, some student film festivals and stuff back in the day. And then this movie came out and I was like, oh my God, I felt ripped off. And then I realized, oh, it's actually based on a comic book that came out before my movie did or whatever. So I was like, all right. But yeah, when I think of 30 Days of Night, I just think of my movie that I made in high school called 40 Days of Night. I'm like, fuck that movie.
Yeah, it's 30 Days a Night. Satan is the movie that we're talking about. It's the one with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind Josh
Hartnett. It's not a bad movie at all. I went to see it in the theater when it came out, but
yeah, it's not great, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
What about Daybreakers with Willem Dafoe and Ethan Hawke?
I don't remember that one.
A vampire movie. Okay, go ahead and let's go through. Which horror movie franchise do you have where the third one is the best? Third? You
The
can make an
third
argument
one
for
is the
Nightmare on Elm Street.
best.
You can make an argument
Yeah.
for Nightmare on Elm Street, but that might not be my choice. But there's an argument for it, possibly.
And Friday the 13th, people say that one.
Well, this might be an unpopular take, but for me personally, I think Army of Darkness is my favorite of the Evil Dead movies.
wow.
No.
Yeah,
No way. No
yeah.
way.
See,
You're
I
one
see.
of those guys.
I'm
Okay.
one of those-
Alpha,
I
go
think-
bye now. Click.
Okay.
I just think Army of Darkness is so fun. It's so well written. Like it's not the gory horror film that the first two Evil Dead films are, but man, is that a Bruce Campbell movie or is that a Bruce Campbell movie?
It's where
Like,
he first
shines
it's
in that
where
movie.
he became what Ash is now known
Yeah.
as. Like he finally kind of formed into that final. But my only and I like Army of Darkness. Don't
I
get me
do,
wrong.
yeah.
And it's got I love the original theatrical ending. I think it's fucking awesome. And but my overall nitpick with it is the first half is better than the second half. Like all the when he's kind of going on his little adventure and stuff like that. It's just a little. I like when he's with the people and the hail, and he's like all that stuff is so much fun. Then he kind of like goes off by himself with the Necronomicon.
It's just the one-liners in that movie are so good.
They're great.
The fucking, the evil Ash, the good Ash, like it's so
Little
slapstick and so
goody
silly.
tissues, Ash. Yeah, it's
There's
so
just
silly.
so much about that movie. Like I watch it like forever. I was like, oh yeah, Evil Dead 2 is the definitive Evil Dead movie.
Evil Dead
like,
1 is my favorite. Evil Dead 1.
I like
but
to.
those movies now, like when I watch Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, like there are so many points in that movie where I'm just kind of not, I guess, bored by it. Where I'm just like, it's just taken so. There's so many forgettable periods of those movies where I'm just like, I get it. It's supposed to be suspenseful or whatever, but like Army of Darkness is so fast. Like it's like
I totally get it.
It's 80 something minutes long. It moves and it's like it's funny, it's entertaining, it gets in and gets out, and it doesn't overstay its welcome for me.
I love the scene. Sorry, I like when he's like, "How about some hot chocolate?" Like all that stuff is like just brilliant. Like
just the silly slapstick fucking the little mini ashes that pop out of the mirror, and it's just like it's so goofy, but it's just
fun,
it
man.
works. Yeah, it's a comedy.
Yeah. Oh,
what?
Oh, sorry. I just clicked.
Mike likes the milk toast Evil Dead the best. I love the movie though. Have you seen?
Well, I'm
Matinee
sorry,
that
but
came
there's
out
so
today?
many moments in the first two Evil Deads where Ash is just like slowly like creeping around the cabin, and it's just like, okay, let's get it moving. There's great moments in those movies, but there's a lot of filler in those fucking movies. I'm sorry.
No, there's not. This is why Evil Dead 2 is so great. That stuff that you're talking about, liking that whole Three Stooges shit with the having some hot chocolate and the miniature good. That is like all Evil Dead 2 is. That it's just like so much of that. I love it. He's not
Evil Dead
quite
1's
as silly.
actually scary though. I think.
Look. We're all Evil Dead friends here.
Okay.
I like them all.
Yeah, I do too.
Look at us splitting hairs. Anyway, have you seen Matinee with John? Goodman?
Yeah, that's a fun movie. It's about the God. What was it? It was some sort of
that guy that ran the
Fallout
schlock
movie.
like midnight
Yeah.
movies or whatever. Let's go. I think that was a Joe Dante film, right?
Yeah,
Is it
Joe
Joe Dante?
Dante. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Invasion of the Podcasters. Look at the iPod, dude. Oh, it's so old school, man. But it's
Wow.
funny. That's so funny because I still think Discman and fucking Walkman with the tapes, and this doesn't feel that old to me, but it is. But let's see who was
This is almost 20 years ago.
19
Think about
let's see who was coming up on the scene. I want to read this actually. Fans are rabid consumers, but they are also innovators in their own right. So when internet radio blossomed in the late 90s, intrepid fans created specialty broadcasts to discuss their obsessions in real time. And likewise, when podcasting became a buzzword in 2004, fans are once again waiting in the wings. Podcasts, which take their name from Apple's hugely popular iPod. You know what? I never put that together. Isn't that fucked up? Did you ever?
Really?
I never put that together.
Yeah.
I never put that together. It's just podcast has become so synonymous over the years. It's its own thing, and we don't really have iPods anymore. So it's like it took over. That's crazy. Podcasts, which take their name from Apple's hugely popular iPod, are short audio video programs, usually no longer than 2 hours. Short. designed to be listened to on a portable digital media players or streamed downloaded through a regular internet browser. Look at them telling us how to do it. Stop mansplaining me, Rue Morgue. I know how to do it. Horror podcasts, as one might expect, are as varied as the fans that create them. Some take the form of traditionally structured radio broadcasts with regular news and interview segments. Others are straight up talk shows. A growing number incorporate genre music, while many are even wilder, wackier, and off the cuff. For your listening displeasure, here's a sinister sampler of radio style podcasts currently available on the net. Interesting. Let's see if if we know these. And I want to know if everybody in the chat, if you guys remember them or if maybe they're still around and you listen to them still. Blood Loss Horrorcast.
Nope, I don't.
Automatic, dude. Check it out. A weekly podcast by two young, enthusiastic horror hounds from Illinois who happen to be fledgling filmmakers. Blake and Matt present in-depth reviews of new and classic splatter movies, interspersed with news, observations, and frequent anecdotes about growing up obsessed with monsters, mayhem, so basically, like all fucking podcasts now. All that's like the archetype. So shout out to Bloodless Horrorcast for being one of those OGs. Cult movies. I don't remember that.
I heard of it.
Dark Gate Horror. Let's see. Oh, she was hosted by singularly named Ellen. There was already a famous Ellen. You can't just be known as Ellen. Ellen DeGeneres had a show called Ellen. Go up. The Late Late Show. Craig Ferguson? The fuck is this?
Oh, they do mention Dead Pit. Robert was mentioning in the comments. Do they mention Dead Pit? I was like, I doubt it.
So we'll get there. Dread Central. Okay, Dread Central. They were a website already, right?
Yeah.
A short but entertaining weekly podcast from the folks behind horror movie website Dread Central. Okay, just the horror podcast, straight up. Okay, Invasion of the Pudcasters. I don't even know what the hell that is. The Late Late Show. I'm pretty sure that was already a thing. While there are dozens, if not hundreds, of horror fiction related podcasts, blah, blah, blah. Mondo Movies. Was that the Mondo?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow. One of the most professional film podcasts out there, UK based Mondo Movies, is a witty, fast paced show featuring two gents with an encyclopedic knowledge of cult movies discussing blah, blah, blah. MonsterCon Radio. Where did you guys see Dead Pit?
Right up here.
Oh, they get a
big write up.
Big write up. Okay, I'm gonna read this because they're still around. They went away for a long time and they just recently came back. And now he's back. It's like Halloween 4. They came back a couple years ago in the form of a YouTube channel. Uncle Bill and the Creepy Kentuckian, the two Southern Fried gentlemen behind Dead Pit, are quick to point out that their program is technically a horror talk radio show and not a podcast. But unlike the similarly themed Fangoria Radio, Dead Pit is downloadable, which sits it comfortably with the podcast brethren. This weekly 2-hour show provides up-to-the-minute horror news, in-depth DVD reviews, and illuminating interviews with the fan favorites such as Tiffany Shepis and Joe Captain Rhodes Pilato, as well as a raucous freewheeling call-in section wherein Pit fans are able to ramble uncensored about their horror obsessions. It's all done in a deceptively casual, low-key style, an illusion no doubt conjured by the hosts' affable thrillbilly accents. Thrillbilly, I like that. I sincerely hope people listen for at least a couple episodes to really find out what the show's about, says Uncle Bill. Although I know some people turn us off after the first 5 minutes. I don't know why that is. Maybe our accents give them deliverance flashbacks or something. Dead Pit is one of the most knowledgeable, enthusiastic horror podcasts currently available. The Creepy Kentuckian estimates that the show garners thousands of listeners every week, and there's even a documentary about it in the works from Rusty Robot Productions. You got to understand, we live in the middle of nowhere. The Kentuckian laughs. There ain't nothing else. Oh, that's not Uncle Bill. I'm doing it's the fat one. God dang, the fatter one. There ain't nothing else to do except watch horror movies and talk about them. Sorry, that was not nice, but I'm not a fan of Dead Pit. I'm not going to get onto it. I'm not here to talk, opinions, but I don't really. Maybe they were cool back then. I didn't really listen to them back then. I remember them being around when we were starting. I remember them being around.
I didn't know that they existed until right around the pandemic, and I found them on YouTube. And I saw it was Uncle Bill was doing he was doing a commentary with T-Shirt Joe, who has like a T-shirt company. And they were watching They were watching Dawn of the Dead, and T-Shirt Joe hates Dawn of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
And I remember watching it, and Uncle Bill, like, Dawn of the Dead's his favorite movie. So it was like juxtaposition there of like, this is my favorite movie and I'm watching it with somebody who absolutely hates this movie, and it was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever heard. And being as somebody from Kentucky who grew up around people like Uncle Bill and Creep Kentucky and Wes and Aaron, like just the way that they talk and I don't know, man, it just hit something with me. And watching their YouTube videos and their live streams and shit, like I wouldn't be doing what I do now if I hadn't discovered them first. Like I was like, oh shit, like that's something you can do on YouTube. Like that's interesting. I'll try my hand at that. And they've
So
been
this-
they were super supportive of like my channel from like day one.
Yeah.
Like when I started, nobody was watching my channel. Nobody gave a shit about my channel. Like Creepy Kentuckian was like the first one to like email me and message me and was like, dude, I think what you're doing is kind of cool. Like keep it up. I'm like, all right, well, thanks. Like that's kind of what I needed to hear. Thank you. So yeah, I dig those guys a lot.
When we started, like it was a very, very close, small community. Even in 2011, it was just everybody kind of knew everybody. We go way back with T-shirt Joe.
Yeah.
And yeah, T-shirt Joe used
He
to
made
go on
our
Dead-
t-shirts. He
he
designed
made
them.
he made our first T-shirt and designed our
Yeah.
first T-shirts.
BestCustomShirts.com.
And he's super. I still am friends with him on Facebook. He's so fucking hilarious.
He's
He's
reviews are
super
hysterical.
dry, super cynical. His humor is awesome. But yeah, and T-shirt Joe would just sort of go on everybody's shows, and he would have his own shows like here and there. And he started a show with one of our co-hosts at the time. It was all very incestual, and yeah, Dead Pit was around, of course, back then. I almost said knocked boots. That's not what I meant to say. Rubbed shoulders and elbows. We knocked boots.
Y'all were very close.
Yeah,
We
no, but
knocked
we weren't. It
boots.
was just everybody was kind of an exploited cinema and all those
Yeah,
guys.
exploited
And
Canadian Ferox, and then we
everybody
kinda-
cross-pollinated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of miss those days a little bit.
Yeah.
But all I know is like Dead Pit went away for a long time. I know like their fucking forum and stuff stayed up, and, and that's kind of what kept them, on the pulse a little bit. But then they came back. Was it YouTube? So it was probably around the pandemic, right?
Yeah, it was like right around the pandemic when they started doing YouTube shows, because they used to record their podcasts
Yeah.
like in person together all the time.
Yeah.
And then, you get older and you have kids and you can't really do that. And then all of a sudden they discover like StreamYard and shit. And then it's like, oh, we can do what we used to do. And, they started up doing YouTube live streams and stuff like that. So
Yeah, like I know they stopped doing their thing for a while, and then they came back with the YouTube channel. I guess that sounds right. Sometime in the pandemic, a few years ago. And Dead Pit definitely came first. I mean, this is 07.
Oh yeah.
So
They came
and we didn't start till early 11.
Yeah.
So much respect to Dead Pit, because like they're one of these guys that were doing it before it was called a podcast. But yeah, just ever since they've come back, if I'm being completely honest, like their actual YouTube channel, it's just become too tabloidy for me. And how they operate their stuff. It's just not my thing. I just don't partake and I don't watch them. And if I could just say one thing, it drives me crazy how they steal content. And they steal content, they repost other people's content, and they don't give anybody credit, and they put their own splash screens on it. I don't like that. I think it's kind of sleazy. There, I said it, but respect. Anyway, I just wish they would.
you can't go respect and then thumbs down fart noise.
I just wish they would handle their stuff better, man, because they have been around so long. We've been around a long time. They've been around so long. I just wish they did things. But if they're trying to be like a radio show like back in the day, they're still called Dead Pit Radio. Maybe that's their thing, drumming up fucking drama and stuff like that. I can kind of get behind that. If that's your thing, that's great.
I think the thing that turns people off to them sometimes is that they are opinionated and they don't hold back. They're just kind of they're literally two hillbillies from Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah,
they're uncultured and they don't care. Like and
that's not what bothers me.
They're
honestly,
a comedy show first and foremost, more than anything.
Ever since they came back in YouTube form, that's the only time where I'm like, because like I said, I didn't have these opinions back in the day. But ever since they came back in YouTube form and on the socials, it's the stealing content. It's the putting their splat. It drives me crazy. I did
notice they did that one episode where they were kind of reviewing. I don't forget if it was I think I remember we met. Like I messaged you, you messaged me, or I messaged you guys or something about it. But they did an episode where they were like reviewing an issue of Fangoria or something like that, and you message like, "Well, that looks familiar" or something like that. I was like, "Yeah, I was thinking the same thing."
But it's not
like-
even it's not even just that. Like
I've seen that
we don't
concept before somewhere.
look, we don't own concepts. That's totally fine. It's not even dude. I saw a write-up. I saw a write-up today from Far Out fucking magazine that pulled up the old issue of like
the
Fango
UK.
#6,
Yeah.
where they were talking about Cronenberg shitting on fucking Alien. I'm like,
Mhm.
that could be a coincidence, but also maybe not. But
Yeah. It makes
that
you
doesn't
wonder.
bother me. That doesn't bother me. What I mean by stealing content is literally stealing people's content and posting it, passing it off as their own content, and then not giving credit to where they ripped that content from, like video form, and then they put their own splash screen on it. It literally is passing off other content as their own. That's what I think is wrong. I think it's a little sleazy, but maybe that's par for the course. Anyway, I don't care. They can steal a concept. I mean, whatever. I don't own concept. But anyway, whatever. Much respect. Just do better. All right, pages. Sorry, pickled punks, dude. That sounds awesome. Oh, Rue Morgue Radio. Yeah, why don't you guys talk about Rue Morgue Radio, because I don't remember Rue Morgue Radio.
Very popular back in the day. Like I was never like huge into Rue Morgue Radio, but I did listen to the occasionally. There was like only 1 or 2 podcasts, and some of the other podcasts I listened to was I can't even remember the names at this point, but yeah.
Well, what's funny was it wasn't even really like a podcast. You actually had to go to the Rue Morgue website, and they
Yeah.
actually had a link that you could go to, and you would have to listen to the show through the website. Because I remember, like I said, being in high school, listening online on the laptop, and I would just, you'd play it through the website.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, man, it was just it was the only place that I knew of. I mean, they had Fangoria. They had like a Fangoria radio show on Sirius at the time that was hosted by like D. Snyder or something like that, but it was fucking unlistenable most of the time. But Rue Morgue was the one. I mean, it was. But Rue Morgue was the one that you'd go to. You'd get some killer music, and then you'd get an awesome interview. You'd get the news of what was coming out. It was great. I mean, I see they're mentioning Stuart Andrews here, who recently just passed away, unfortunately. A lot of great. I mean, he was a great interviewer. That, like I said, that Romero interview that he does is one that I go back to all the time, because it's literally, he had a way of, making the interviewee comfortable enough to just kind of sit back and just kind of tell stories outside of like, their usual, planned answers to certain questions and shit. It's like Romero, if you ask Romero about Dawn of the Dead, of course he's going to talk about the same stories over and over again. But Stuart Andrews was really good at like relax. I said this about Felsher all the time too, Michael Felsher. Like, he has a good way of like relaxing the person to where they would talk about stuff that they wouldn't normally talk about, and give information that maybe they hadn't thought about in years. That yeah, I mean, that's where I cut my teeth, was Rue Morgue Radio, more so than the magazine. Even like that's where I knew Rue Morgue from, was Rue Morgue Radio. Yeah, I remember they had their own little sound bites and shit.
Kevin here, who is in digital marketing with Rue Morgue, if you guys haven't caught on, he said the old Rue Morgue Radio episodes get released periodically over on the Patreon. So go check out Patreon of Rue Morgue and sign up and get those old episodes. Now I feel like I got to listen to them. I feel like I missed out, because that's like the cool thing about podcasts. Same thing with like old radio shows too. I mean, I love listening to those they don't get dated. I love listening to old episodes of stuff, old interviews. Yeah. Same thing, dude. So it's why we're going through these older magazines.
I listened to a Romero interview last night. He was on PBS. I think it was right before Night Riders came out. I listened to that last night. That was interesting. I thought. So, yeah, that was on YouTube.
Tomb Dragonmire. Love D, hate Twisted Sister. D. Snyder's a personality. There's something about him, dude. I would love to have lunch with him, dude. I think he's funny. I think he's an entertaining guy. And I don't hate Twisted Sister, actually.
Night Living podcast. I remember listening to that, but
Did you like Strangeland?
No.
When I was younger, I didn't see it.
No.
No, it sucks, but I love D. Nice Snyder and I respect him for making it. You know, I'm not gonna like, dude, I'm not gonna knock anybody that makes a movie. It's hard, dude, and like it just, you know, it came out schlocky or whatever, but it was a passion project, and yeah, there's something about it though. It's such a relic of its time, like literally the AOL like messenger, like
Yeah.
shit. And it's a little bit ahead of its time too, because that stuff got really prevalent like in the decade after, about people meeting people online and shit like that. And so it's a great concept. Robert Englund chews the scenery, dude, playing like that redneck role. Like he's super super hee-haw, man. So it is what it is. And again, and also I just want to backtrack. I'm not knocking anybody that has a podcast or a show either. I respect anybody that puts work into anything. These are just criticisms. Just like D. Snyder. I love D. Snyder. I don't love his movie. I would still watch.
No, don't backtrack now. You've laid it out there.
Oh, I'm honest. Everything I've said, I'm 100% honest. I still, you know.
Yeah, man. Just be honest. Nobody gives a shit. It's your opinion. It's your show, man.
D. Snyder.
That's why people like you. That's what attracts me to you guys, man.
I'm attracted to you too, Alpha.
I think you guys are you were two sexy motherfuckers. I'd love to be the meat in between the revival house sandwich here. So come on,
we can make that happen.
You guys total sidetrack. That reminds me of, you guys ever see the Underseen Bulletproof with Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Remember where like they're getting that guy, the guy, the Sticks Motel, and he's trying to get him a little sandwich action with his wife. He uses that whole thing too. And he's like, got his wife on the phone. How do you know you wouldn't like a little sandwich action? It's
all right. Let's plow through this. It's getting late. Come on.
We're 3.5 hours in.
Yeah, we'll plow through it. We could skip the monsters for breakfast. How about we could skip this, even though it's a very interesting write-up. I don't know if they're going with like the history of the merch and stuff. Hey guys, lore of Revival House. Todd and I bonded. I had the Count Chocula cereal CD that came with the box of cereal, and we played it in some of our student films. It's super spooky. Count So I owe a lot. Brian Slagle.
Oh, that's interesting.
Brian Slagle of Metal Blade Records. I guess I won't read it because we don't have time. Look, there's a picture of 6 Feet Under down there. There's King Diamond down there with his guys in the fucking like cloaks, dude.
Yeah.
I love King Diamond. There's Cannibal Corpse right below that, which, you know, Chris Barnes used to be the singer of. Obviously, you guys know Cannibal Corpse, world famous for Ace Ventura, Pet Cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
No, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
I met my first serious girlfriend in middle school through Cannibal Corpse. So
hell yeah.
She was huge into Cannibal Corpse at the time. I was like, honey, you're the gal for me. So.
Dude, I took my wife. My wife is such a trooper, guys. She'll go to concerts. You know, I'm old. I don't make new friends anymore. My friends don't live in this state anymore. So I don't have concert buddies anymore. I'm a little too old to go to concerts by myself anymore. I just don't do it. She'll go to shows with me. And I think it might have been the last we went to was second time I've taken her to see Meshuggah. Meshuggah headlined. Main support was Cannibal Corpse, and Carcass opened the show. Wow. And surprisingly, she's like, I really liked Cannibal Corpse. And you got like George Corpse crying, and he always says like the famous stuff. This is a song about shitting blood out of your cock. This is got blood. It's
I just picture her doing the Ace Ventura.
Sorry, guys, I gotta go. I got a date with your mothers.
I got a date with your mothers. Okay. Which of you is the best to play Pinhead? Oh, well, Alpha, he's got more of this, like, I could see him like shave him like a fucking mole rat and put the makeup on him. I could see it.
Tear your soul apart.
I want to be Chatterer, dude.
Which I just read for the first time. I just finished reading The Hellbound Heart, by the way.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And after reading, I always thought Hellraiser was a pretty hardcore fucking movie, but after reading the book, I was like, yeah, the movie's pretty tame in comparison to the fucking book. Yeah. So
Clive Barker's a genius. He's my
Yeah,
Mount Rushmore. I would love to talk to him. I mean, I know he's getting up there in years, and I know he's not been in the greatest of health. I would just love to talk to. I would love to get something signed by him or anything. I just think he's a genius.
Yeah,
Studies of Madness. I don't know
immensely
what this.
talented.
Let's go ahead and skip this. Undead Headbanger. The fuck was that? So let's see who that was.
Johnny
Gruesome. Pass. Johnny Gruesome. Oh, look at there's a Hare Krishna zombie, dude.
Hey, there you go.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the mecha or the NECA figure that came out.
Okay.
NECA figure,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just did a video on that figure, I don't know, a few weeks ago. I'm over on my channel, actually.
Is this the feature where they talk about new movies, new releases, or what is this? Film, video, dad, reissues. This is what's coming out. So they might not be new movies. They might be new movies. They might be reissues. So Halloween, Zombies coming out. That movie's, I don't hate it. It's the common issues you hear everybody talk about are my issues with it.
Great.
It's just like, it's kind of fun. At least he did something new. We got the weird backstory. We got redneck Michael Myers with Michelle Mabel. I say that all the time to my brothers, dude. Michelle Mabel. And they don't even know where it came from. Like, why the fuck you keep saying that? Like, Michelle Mabel.
I'll fuck the shit out of you. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely Rob Zombie dialogue. I heard they had to
fucking
pump,
dialogue.
I heard they had to pump the cum from her stomach. It's a Rob Zombie joint, right?
Yeah.
But you can tell like the studio at the end's like, you got to remake Halloween in the last 15 minutes. That's where it kind of falls off the rails.
Yeah, I like the Halloween remake. Like you said, the first like half of it when it's like the backstory. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting because at the time you got to remember 2007, we only had like everything up to Resurrection. So like the Michael Myers mythology to me as a kid was just completely mysterious. So when you're watching Rob Zombie interpret it in a certain way in 2007, it was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Like when you see the shot of him and Loomis sitting in the sanitarium, and he's like, okay, and he hits the hit record button on the tape recorder, and he's like, and then the little boy says, you know, my name is Michael Myers. And it's just like, there's something so creepy about that because Michael Myers was always the boogeyman to me growing up when I was a kid, like in the movies. So when you hear him as a little kid, like an innocent little kid, there's something, there's something kind of effective about that. But yeah, when they went into like full like remake mode, I was like, this kind of falls apart at that point. But
what about Joe Grizzly? Let me pass this load in peace. I got a burrito. I got a double taco. Burrito Supreme.
I got a burrito Supreme talking back at me.
Joe Grizzly's amazing, man. I love him.
Return to House on Haunted Hill was dropping. The Invasion with Nicole Kidman. Everybody was making these like kind of throwback and remake movies. Flight of the Living Dead. Outbreak on a Plane. Did you see that one?
No, I never saw that.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Is that like Soul Plane, dude?
That's
like it's supposed to be like a take on Snakes on a Plane, I think.
Was Snake on the Plane? Yeah, Snakes on a Plane. I think it was 06, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Anchor Bay.
The used to be Kings one time.
I know.
I have that DVD release of Hellraiser.
I have the Phantasm. I have the Halloween.
I have the
Halloween
I have the Reanimator. I had the Halloween. I had the Halloween 5.
Those are the ones Evil Dead, Day of the Dead, and Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. There you go. Hey, so
I keep looking over here because I'm fucking looking at the screen over here.
Satan's asking you, Alpha, what's the best thing you own in that room?
The best thing that I own in this room? God, I have no idea. I have an original Dawn one sheet, the green letter, which is produced before the red letter. I have it signed by George, Tom, all the cast, a bunch of people. That's my prized possession. That's the one thing. If this house catches fire tonight, like that's what I'm grabbing before my children.
Then your kids, and then
yeah, and then it's like okay, and then if there's room for the kids, But that's the one thing I'm grabbing as I'm going out. But
that's a grail piece right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I spent a pretty penny on when I bought it. So,
but you don't have to tell us what you paid for it. But did you at least get it at a time where you still saved? Because like stuff like that appreciates in value. Like
I actually got it from a lady whose husband had it, and he passed away. And she didn't really know what it was worth, so she was asking for way less than what it actually went for.
Oh, nice.
Did you offer her more, or did you take the deal?
No, I took the deal, but I told her, I was like, this actually goes for a lot more. Before I even bought it, I was like, this is actually goes for a lot more than what you're asking for it. But she was like, no, it's fine. If you want to pay that, it's fine. I just got to get rid of this shit. And I'm like, that's gonna be my fiance, and in years from now, hopefully.
And you
She's
still
like,
said,
"Just get rid of it."
and you still
I was
said you
like,
paid a
"All right."
lot for it, or do you mean the signatures? With the signatures,
I still paid quite a bit for it. I mean, I think it was $800 for it, but I think they usually go for anywhere from 12 to 1500 usually.
Well,
without
she knew it was worth
signatures,
something because if you're like an oblivious widow, like usually it's like those people that don't know what they have, they're like $10. It's just a poster.
They're hard to find.
I didn't get that lucky. No, I didn't get that.
But I'm
lucky,
saying, like, so she clearly knew they were worth something.
Yeah, but she didn't really. I guess she probably looked and saw what regular Dawn, because like a regular Dawn one sheet's usually 200 to 300, I would think. Sometimes 4, depending on the quality, the condition of it. But the green letter is far more rare. It was the first printing of it. It's so I don't know, but I told her, I was like, because there was one on eBay at the time that I was looking at that was close to 1,000. So I was like, but
All right, moving on. We've all had that Return of the Living Dead in our collection, I'm sure too. Go ahead and move on. Gag. Is this like a Saw knockoff? Look at it. It looks like a Saw knockoff.
Yeah, there were so many of those back in the day.
Gag, dude. That could be so many different kinds of movies. Let's go ahead and move on. Gag. Hallowed Ground. Look at that. The nails in the mouth. God,
that's pretty cool, dude.
I wonder if that'll get us flagged, actually. It's so gruesome. Okay. Follow the House of Usher. There's my boy, Doug Bradley. There's my boy, Doug, if time allows Bradley.
Time allows.
I'm going to always, like, he's always for eternity, Doug, if time allows Bradley.
Yes.
It's like, try and sound enthusiastic there, pal. Cool.
Oh, wait. Was that Richard Grieco, dude?
That's who it is. Yeah, I was about to say it. That is Grieco.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's crazy.
Looking
He
like
didn't have to wear much makeup.
That's one of my favorite films, dude. I love If Looks Could Kill. He looks terrible there, though.
Yeah, he looks horrible.
What are your thoughts on Raiders of the Damned?
What is Last Rites? I think we should kind of look at this. It's just paying tribute to a few movies overlooked, forgotten, and dismissed. Gothic Vampires from Hell. Has anybody seen that?
No.
Studio 666. Has anybody seen that?
Oh, Satan might have seen it. I don't know.
Ring.
Sounds like something that'd be right up his alley.
Ring of Darkness sounds like a movie about somebody that doesn't wipe very good, dude. Is this a documentary of getting an ass bleaching, dude? Is it a doc?
Right.
I mean,
We're officially almost 4 hours in. Sorry, guys.
Okay, come on, move forward. It's a meatball machine, dude. Go.
Machine.
I'm just gonna get loopier until we get the end of it. Bowl bust. Ooey bowl.
Yeah.
Is that Ooey bowl? Bowl busters.
Yeah, look at Mini.
Yeah, there's Mini Me, dude. Look, he's holding a penis.
Is that Vern Troyer?
Yeah, Mini Me's holding a dick.
This is going off the rails. What is going on here?
And he's got leader hosens. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Blood Rain sucks. Box set. Let's go. Let's move on. Blood on a Budget. Let's see. Anybody seen Sharp Teeth?
No.
No.
A Long Way Home, A Bigfoot Story.
Bloodshed, no.
Savage Harvest 2. Have you seen Savage Harvest 1? I haven't.
No.
Oh, I thought
Savage Harvest 3 is a real
that one's
masterpiece. Yeah.
The Bloodshed. Sorry, we're doing like speed golf now through this. Yeah.
There we go. There's some reissues. From Beyond, Stendhal Syndrome.
Yeah, Stacy, R.I.P. Jamie Blanks passed away. It's too bad. Him and Chuck Norris, dude, they're upstairs right now, just working out together, getting all greased up.
I always want to see this Terror Tunes. I've never seen it, but I've seen it like video stores, dude.
Looks terrible. It looks like a Pee-wee's Playhouse like mid segment.
It's like a knockoff Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. That's what it looks like.
Oh, with Fell Dog? With the Fell Dog.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the
From Beyond.
From Beyond, yeah. Oh, Masters of Horror. You know what? I've never seen that. The damn thing, Masters of Horror.
Sean Patrick Flannery.
I don't think I've seen that one. And Ted Raimi. The thing is I have all of those Blu-rays they put out, and either I don't have all of them or they didn't release every one of them because I know they had a DVD box set back in the day of including the Takashi Miike, which was like banned in print. It was banned from Showtime. You had to get in that box set. But then they released Blu-ray volumes, and each volume has like 3 or 4 of them on there. I have like 4 of them, and I've never seen that one, so I don't have that one. But I have imprints on one of those volumes. Disgusting. Imprints hard. I've said for a while I want to do commentaries for the Masters of Horror series. I think it's kind of forgotten. I think it's a very consistent series. A lot of really, really, really great concepts in there too. And it was a great place for like legacy horror directors to get a little action and to, get a little bit of, press.
Eaten Alive, that's a great one. The Toby Hooper's Eaten Alive.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. Oh, there's a Spawn series. Speaking of the Silver Tongue himself, I love that HBO Spawn series. Anybody mess with that stuff? That HBO
I never
series?
saw it. I just saw the movie with Johnny Legs. John Leguizamo.
That's not that good. It's a weird.
It was cool when I was a kid, man. When that movie came out when I was a kid, man, I was like,
the trailer was awesome, and it's like you see the movie, like, oh, but no, the HBO series is fantastic. And back in the day, it was like, oh, the blood and the swearing and the nudity and stuff. Cinemarquee, Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's the Lon Chaney one. There's Evil Ed, dude.
Yeah.
The Mad Musings of Schizoid Cinephile.
Chris Alexander.
Yeah. Blood in 4 Colors. Quick Cuts. What are quick cuts? It says reviews by. Okay, it's like quick reviews, quick write-ups.
Yeah, I think they're of comic books.
Kevin's asking, did you ever see Fear Itself? It was a follow-up to Masters of Horror. They were on cable TV, and each episode was still created by. No, dude, how have I never heard of this? I'm gonna bookmark that right now because I just love that concept of Masters of Horror so much, and I can't complain because it went on for a good bit. And we got a lot of content, but oh wow, season 1, episode 2 has fucking Eric Roberts. I'm sold.
There you go.
Shit.
That's all you got to say.
Dude, Kevin, I'm a huge Eric Roberts guy.
Hey, there you go.
I drink your blood.
I drink your blood. Yeah.
I love it, man. Eat those meat pies.
Which Mahoning Drive-In up in Pennsylvania, they're having a triple feature of The Crazies, I Drink Your Blood, and Shivers coming up. That my buddy sent me. I was like, man, that's like the perfect triple feature right there. All in Lowry.
That'd be fun.
Maroon. Mwah.
You can leave halfway through Shivers, beat traffic, Shivers is one.
Come on, man. I love Shivers.
Mask of Black Death. Terrifyingly good. The Rue Morgue Mask of Black Death. What is that? Travelogue of Terror. Day of the Dead Festival. So this is like the legit Day of the Dead Festival.
Yeah.
Gourmet. Holy shit. That was like Fred Armisen, Two-Face, dude. Harvey Two-Face.
Maybe because it's a menu, maybe it's pronounced the gourmet. The gourmet. See?
The space threw me off, but I get they need the space. Sorry.
Here's the Rotten Cotton, dude. Yeah.
That's old
there
school,
you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin, I've read a lot of text tonight.
Very, very nice ladies.
Hot chicks and panties.
I didn't even notice they're holding firearms.
Jeez.
I just love in big letters, exclamation point. Hot chicks and panties.
God, I remember seeing that Skinwalkers cover all the time, but I've never seen it. Did you guys ever buy anything off Rotten Cotton back in the day?
No, I never did.
No,
like
I always
said,
went on there and looked at
That's like forbidden. Like if I ever had to borrow my parents' credit card or something to buy something from there, it'd be like, what the fuck did you buy? Rotten Cotton? Because I mean, it was so close to rotten.com. You guys remember rotten.com back in the day?
Absolutely.
Yep. I saw Tupac's autopsy. Of course.
Oh, I better get off of that page.
What was that page?
What was it?
A chick with 3 boobs.
Hell yeah.
No.
Total Recall?
Well, dude, come on. We got to get that out. Okay. Hey,
the nipples are covered though.
I love that they're reviewing
you wish I had 3 hands.
It's horror and culture. horror and culture, so they're reviewing video games as well. As back in the DS days, they had album reviews in there. They had at the time the new King Diamond, Give Me Your Soul Please album review. I love that, man. I like sort of the all-encompassing vibe of it. And Fido, dude, this guy always looked like Bruce Campbell to me, but it's not Bruce Campbell. He did. He looked like Bruce Campbell. Is that like one of the Culkins, dude? I said it. Jinx, you owe me a Pepsi.
Yes.
Oh,
that's it.
So awesome. Go ahead and stop sharing screen and blow us back up. How do you do that? There you go. So that was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I think it's great that we're going to do this. And I don't know if the plan in 2 weeks, I think we need to tackle the new issue. There's a new issue with Undertone. That's the new film out right now. That's podcast horror. And Todd, and this one was a bit of a long one. Todd's the one that picked the 10-year anniversary double issue. So sorry, Alpha, we took a lot of your time. That was a wallop. That was a whopper.
I'm used to doing 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, Todd's the one that's always like trying to hurry everybody up. But this is
no. Yeah, it's our first one. I thought we should do a double issue. So
yeah,
I was like, why not? It's the thing, man. So I was like, might as well do the thing.
Kevin knows what's up. Eric Roberts for the win. Dude, he is a treasure. And I think I love his motto of I never say no to anything. We can tell, he just says yes to everything because he just loves. I listened to him on a podcast and he was saying, yeah, I say yes to everything. He's like, everybody take note. I say yes to everything. He's like, because nothing makes me happier than being on set. And if I can spend every day of my life on set, I'm happy. And he's like, he did that Sharktopus movie. I always talk about it. He's like, you know what? I don't care. I did Sharktopus. I got him to fly they were filming in like some tropical place or whatever. And I got him to fly my whole family out. It's like, great. We're going to have a 3-week vacation in the tropics. So I'll film Sharktopus to have a vacation with my family. No big deal. I love it. I love his attitude. He's one of those guys where I'm an actor. It's what I do. You pay me to act, I'll act. I don't care what it is. I'm going to get the job done. I was watching like fucking Telemundo because my, wife is, and Eric Roberts was on a telenovela, dude, a Mexican. He was on a Spanish speaking telenovela as like a token, like American guy and whatever, but everything else Spanish. And I'm like, that's my Eric. Never too good for anything. And he's actually a great actor.
That's my Eric.
That's my little boy, all grown up.
That's the talented Roberts of the family, by God.
You could put him, in a Christopher Nolan movie like Dark Knight, and he can be in Sharktopus. It's brilliant. And the thing is he's one of those guys that chooses scenes. You might see it as overacting. I don't think so. I think he's perfect. I love Runaway Train. I love it's getting late. What am I trying to Pope of Greenwich Village and stuff like that. These roles that really put him on the map. Yeah, he's like really flexing himself, but he steals everything he's in because he's so fantastic. I love the guy. He's always smiling too. You're always going to get me with a good smile. So, including Human Centipede 3. What are we talking about? Human Centipede 3 sucks.
Human Centipede 3.
Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah, dude, he'll do. Yeah, and the movie sucks. Don't get me wrong. I don't like all the movies he's in. I don't think he likes all the movies he's in. It would be impossible. But it's just the fact that he's so damn likable, dude. I would love to just dine him. Let me tell you what.
You feel about Eric the way that I feel about Julia Roberts. I would love to meet Julia Roberts.
Oh, dude, if they're both on fire, I'm pissing on Eric. I hate to break it to you. Dude, my mom tortured me with Still Magnolias. My mom watched Still Magnolias on repeat all the time. You know how many times I had to watch Julia Roberts pass out, and her kid crying over her dead body at the end of the movie? I started laughing. It became hilarious to me. I just can't do it. But
Julia Roberts was like my first, like when I was a kid, Julia Roberts was my first crush. When I saw her in Pretty Woman, like that's one of my all-time favorite movies still. But like when I was a kid, like Pretty Woman, I was like, that's Julia Roberts.
Yeah, when Jason Alexander tries to get frisky.
Mine was Marissa Tomei.
And Richard
also
Gere
Jason
shows
Alexander.
There we
go. Well, everybody's an animal. Like I think I would be a chipmunk. Look, I can take the piss on myself. She looks like a woodpecker to me. Doesn't she?
Okay, so let's go to the before we wrap the live. See what the
poll. What poll do you got here?
Let's see what the poll says.
I don't even know what the poll was for.
Okay, so favorite Carpenter film that is not Halloween. We got, of course, The Thing won 57%. The Fog was 5%, so that's third. Escape from New York and They Live are tied. So yeah, The Thing, of course, smoked.
So it was favorite Carpenter that wasn't Halloween. You excluded Halloween.
Well, what do you like better? Do you like The Thing or Halloween better? As
The Thing.
These days The Thing. But you know, at the end of the day, the Halloween is what it is. I think the franchise has just ruined it. But like I said, we can go down that if we want, but I don't hold what studios do to ideas and they franchise them out. But the original Halloween, if you would have left it alone, it's just a little bit overdone and it's tired. I've seen it so many damn times, and the fandom is get a grip, guys. Let's just calm down a little bit. But it's an amazing movie, and I just need a break from it. And there's something about me that's always gonna put Halloween a little bit more esteem because that was like a Carpenter baby through and through. The iconic theme, dude, produced it, wrote it, and stuff like that. It's just like if you're an indie filmmaker, that's gonna be the one that's gonna influence you. The Thing is like Alien. It's a team effort, right? It's a bigger deal, and you got all these fucking like ace players helping you out. And Halloween was more shoestring, and there's just something charming about it. So, and it's a great idea, great concept, and all that stuff. So, but anyway,
all right.
Shall I wrap up?
Yep.
Like, all right. Everybody, Alpha Romero's channel on YouTube, that's going to be linked below. Definitely subscribe to him. He streams all the time.
What do you got going tomorrow, Alpha? You have a stream, don't you?
Yeah, I'll be I got a series called Collecting the Dead where I have various people on showing off their Romero and horror collections.
Oh, I thought they were necrophiliacs collecting the dead. They're like Ed Gein.
No, it's not that exciting. But no, I'll have my buddy Matt Landrum on at Drone of the Dead. I'll have him on tomorrow night. He'll be showing off some of his collection, including the new Day of the Dead figures from Trick or Treat Studios, which he just got in. So we're going to take a look at those, kind of do a little review of those. So that should be fun. And Matt's one of my best friends, one of the best guys out there. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, check it out at Alpha Romero 88 on YouTube. Yeah, should be fun.
And if you went there because of this channel, let them know. Revival House.
Yeah.
And
I've been running a contest. I got a bracket contest going now for the best zombie film not directed by George Romero. That I'm letting. I mean, right now, well, Zombie lost in the first round.
Shaun of the Dead. Actually, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, so right now the bracket, who's in? It's Reanimator versus Night 90 right now.
Okay.
Right now, 20. It's still got a couple of hours before that one runs out. But yeah, I've noticed that quite a few. I've seen Satan, and I've seen Satan show up.
Nice.
Satan and John. I've seen a couple of guys in chats over here commenting on those, and it's been pretty cool. I'm giving away a $50 Vinegar Syndrome gift card over there. So,
nice. You guys can buy Dirty Work with that. Go over to Vinegar Syndrome, buy a copy of Dirty Work,
or the Dark Half, which I helped on. So. If you dare.
And special shout out to Kevin Hoover, man. Thank you so much for helping us put this together. And definitely check out Rue Morgue. Like I said, we're gonna do these bi-weekly. I think that's the plan. So we'll be back 2 Fridays from now. And but we stream every Wednesday and Friday, and we put up short form videos as well. So we're always putting up stuff. We're always streaming Wednesday and Friday, but we're gonna be doing the Rue Morgue thing every other Friday. And check out all the Rue Morgue links. Get your digital copies, digital subscriptions. Get the physical stuff. Order these in print, man, because that's where it's at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When the grid goes down, what are you gonna read while you're taking a shit?
Exactly.
You need that on top of your bowl, your head. You need a Maxim magazine under it for good measure. And you need an issue of Rue Morgue on that tank. But anyways, guys, and of course, please like and subscribe. we'll see you guys hopefully next week. Bye. Thanks.
Big thanks to the Revival House family. Your loyalty fuels our obsession with horror and lets us uncover the darkest, most twisted gems just for you. If you're not a member yet, consider joining the cult today. You'll get early access to videos, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes scares you won't find anywhere else. Until next time, this is Revival House, your home for horror, and remember, we'll leave the house lights off for you.